Hello student, good morning and very warm welcome on the behalf of Team Invictus. Today I am going to discuss with you the JEE mains paper which was open test 4 conducted on 3rd January, right? So before starting this test analysis, which is going to very interesting, let me introduce myself. My name is Harish Chandra Joshi and I am one of the faculty of Team Invictus at Delhi. Right? So student, I hope you all are ready and you must have gone through this paper very well, and let's try to discuss what are the crux inside this paper, right? So now let me begin this paper. So now we start with the section 1, and in section 1 the first question is matrix match type, where we have given a single correct choice. Student, so it is simply based on the practical organic chemistry, right? So in practical organic chemistry, we know that which kind of test is basically for carbolamine test किसके लिए होगा, phenol के लिए कौन सा test होगा, and which test is for aldehyde also, right? So it was a very simple matrix match. So now if you go through this option, sometimes it's tricky that you just find out your correct option. For example, there are many options are same, so you try to get the accurate option in that case also, right? So let me match one by one. So sodium iodide and sodium hypochlorite. Student, this is iodoform test. So iodoform test will be given by secondary alcohol or methyl ketone containing compounds, right? So A has to be 2 correct option. So A2 means we can go for these 2, right? Carbylamine test is for primary amine, right? And neutral FeCl3 is for phenol. It is direct matrix match, I think, and SIF test is for aldehyde family, right? So now student, which one is correct option? So A2, B1, D4 and 2 is the correct option. So I hope you have done this option correct. So let me check the answer of this question. The answer of this question is 2, which is correct option, right? So let's go to the next question. Question number 2 of this slide. Which of the following option is incorrect? The NH2 group in aniline is ortho and para directing with respect to electrophile and powerful activating group. Definitely it has very good plus M effect. So this statement is very true. Student, take care. यहाँ पे क्या पूछा जा रहा है ये आपको देखना पड़ेगा. Incorrect, क्योंकि कई बार रीडिंग में हम लोगों से गलती होती है. We generally choose the correct option, right? तो हरी नहीं करना है, ऑप्शन को थोड़े ध्यान से पढ़ना है, because you all are preparing for JEE advanced this time and mains is almost near about and you have to finish this exam also, right? Then aniline does not undergo Friedel-Crafts alkylation. Very nice question, because in case of Friedel-Crafts reaction there is AlCl3 is used, which is Lewis acid, so it will form an anilium ion formation there, right? So in that case it will be electron withdrawing group. Then trimethylene do not react with benzene sulfonyl chloride, and then pipyridine and देखो pipyridine is this compound, you have to know the structure. This is the pipyridine, right? So this is pipyridine, which is most basic in this case. pyridine का structure सबको पता होगा. देखो pyridine का structure आप ऐसे कुछ use कर लो. This is the structure of pyridine. And pyrrole, देखो बच्चों, अगर आपको इसमें स्ट्रक्चर याद थे, कॉमन नेम का क्वेश्चन था, तो आई थिंक यू कैन सिंपली सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. तो इस केस में ये मिस्टेक लग रहा है. देखो पाइपिरिडीन शुड बी मोस्ट बेसिक बिकॉज नाइट्रोजन इज नॉट पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन कॉन्जुगेशन. तो इन केस ऑफ दिस नाइट्रोजन इज sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज. इन दिस केस लोन पेयर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन एरोमेटिक कॉन्जुगेशन. ठीक है. तो नाउ दिस ऑप्शन इज इनकरेक्ट एंड दिस ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट ऑल्सो. तो राइट, तो इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन इज 4-1. So let me check the answer. It's correct now. And next question is a sequence of organic reagents are given there, because student ये आजकल काफ़ी common pattern है exam का, जहाँ पर series of equations आपको दी रहती है. Even advanced is trying very hard for such type of question. So make it very careful in stepwise conversion, right? तो toluene NBS2 equivalent, यानी toluene पे बेंजाइलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन हो जाएगा, 2 Br आपके आ जाएंगे. देन उसका हाइड्रोलिसिस कर दोगे तो इट विल कन्वर्टेड इनटू एल्डिहाइड, राइट? फिर उसके बाद टॉलरेंस रिएजेंट करोगे, इट विल कन्वर्टेड इनटू बेंजोइक एसिड, SOCl2 it will converted into acid chloride, then ammonia. तो I think this is the final option of W. तो W आपका ये आना चाहिए देखो. तो I have taken all the series of steps of reaction in that case. It's very simple. And second case benzoic acid PCl5, तो everyone know that COH में OH Cl से replace हो जाएगा, तो we'll get benzoyl chloride, then ammonia, तो we'll get benzamide, this similar compound, and finally P4O10 will be a dehydrating agent. So X will be cyanide, benzene carbonitrile, right? And in case of nitrobenzene, there is reduction, then followed by NaNO2, that is diazotization, and then water, it will give you phenol. So Y will be phenol, right? And in next case, benzoyl chloride H2P2, this is Rosenmund reduction, very famous question. So you will get benzyl aldehyde as a major product. So student, in that case you can clearly see that तो which question has 6 index of hydrogen deficiency. तो बच्चों कई बार ये IHD नंबर को हम लोग DU से रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं या डबल बॉन्ड इक्विवेलेंट से रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. देखो IHD नंबर इज इंडेक्स ऑफ हाइड्रोजन डेफिशिएंसी, जिसको हम डबल बॉन्ड से रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं, डिग्री ऑफ अनसैचुरेशन, डबल बॉन्ड इक्विवेलेंट. तो किसका डबल बॉन्ड इक्विवेलेंट आपका 6 होगा? सी. तो यहाँ पर 3 पाई बॉन्ड्स, 1 cyclic ring and 2 pi bond is there. So ultimately is at ISD number 6, it has ISD number 5 और इसके लिए ISD number 4 हो गया और इसके लिए ISD number 5 हो गया. तो this is a single one, तो hence this option should be correct, right? So let me check the option in that case. तो I hope this one is the correct answer. तो अगर आपने नोट नहीं किया है तो आप एक बार इसको क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हैं बच्चों, ये जो ऑप्शन था, ठीक है? तो these are the options. You can clearly see there. Okay, so let's move on the next question. The next question is based on the electrophilic aromatic substitution kind of reaction, but again there is series of reagent used in this question. So first CrO3 and acetone, so it means you will get primary alcohol into carboxylic acid. Then SOCl2, it will convert into COCl, this particular group. Then anhydrous AlCl3, intramolecular Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction will take place. So let me check the steps of this question. So in first case, you will get this kind of question, right? तो पहला स्टेप बच्चों ऐसे कर लोगे इसको, तो यहाँ पर आपने इसको यूज कर लेना है, देखो. फिर उसके बाद you will convert this question into this way. राइट तो इसके बाद नाउ दिस इज COCl. अब इसको Friedel-Crafts AlCl3 के साथ हम लोग कर देंगे when we'll do this anhydrous AlCl3. So this position is highly activating for ES because it is ortho-para-directing, and this is also plus effect is showing there. So you simply make the aromatization process there. So I am directly writing the product, right? So you will get this kind of product. So I think let me check the option. So in this case option 4 is correctly matched. ठीक है बच्चों, तो आपको क्या करना था, पहले स्टेप वाइज इसके स्टेप्स देखने थे, so that you will get the carboxylic acid, and then carboxylic acid के लिए आप SOCl2 की common reaction है. तो this is for class 12th batch. So I think everyone know all these are the simple reagent, right? So let's check the answer. So now 4 is correct one. And next question is the matrix match type again, name reaction. तो बच्चों हम लोग जब भी क्लास में बात करते हैं कि भाई नेम रिएक्शन भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो समटाइम्स मैट्रिक्स मैच में नेम रिएक्शन एंड उसमें कौन कौन से माइग्रेशन हुए, उसमें कौन कौन सा बॉन्ड फॉर्म हुआ, लाइक विच नेम रिएक्शन CC बॉन्ड फॉर्म, विच नेम रिएक्शन कार्बन टू नाइट्रोजन माइग्रेशन टेक्स प्लेस, कहाँ कार्बन टू ऑक्सीजन माइग्रेशन टेक्स प्लेस हो रहा है, ठीक है, कहाँ पर कार्बोकेटाइन इंटरमीडिएट बन रहा है, कहाँ पे कार्बो एनाइन इंटरमीडिएट्स बन रहे हैं, कहाँ पर रेडिकल बन रहे हैं, कहाँ पे बेंजाइन. तो एवरी नेम रिएक्शन को डिफरेंट प्रोस्पेक्ट से आपको सोचना चाहिए. उस रिएक्शन का काइनेटिक्स में ऑर्डर क्या हो सकता है, राइट? तो JEE मेन ऑल्दो आस्क सिंपल टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन बट एडवांस समटाइम्स स्ट्रगल विद दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन, ठीक है। तो आपको इस तरह का अपना माइंडसेट पहले ही रखना है। तो नेम रिएक्शन भी सबको लर्न करनी है, राइट। तो इटार्ड रिएक्शन इज वेरी फेमस। तो बच्चों इटार्ड रिएक्शन किसको बनाने के लिए यूज होता है? दैट इज टॉल्वीन से हम लोग क्या बनाते हैं इसमें? बेंजल एल्डिहाइड, बिकॉज दिस हैड टू बी रिएक्टेंट यूज्ड, तो वी यूज टॉल्वीन इन इटार्ड रिएक्शन। तो कैनेजारो नॉन अल्फा हाइड्रोजन कंटेनिंग एल्डिहाइड, तो बेंजल एल्डिहाइड हम यूज करते हैं, देख लो। एल्डोल कंडेंसेशन वी यूज एसिटल एल्डिहाइड, राइट। रोजेनमुंड रिडक्शन वी यूज बेंजल क्लोराइड, वेरी सिंपल। तो सिंपली A का 4, तो A का 4 कहीं पे दिख रहा है हम लोगों को, देखो A का 3, तो A का 3 इन दोनों में कर सकते हैं हम लोग, एंड D का 1 क्लियरली बेंजोइल क्लोराइड, दोनों में सही है। तो लेट वी डिसाइड विद बाय C, तो एल्डोल कंडेंसेशन के लिए 2 जहां करेक्ट होगा, तो हेंस दिस इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। तो ये आपका C के लिए आप 4 को करेक्ट कर लो, कैनिजारो के लिए 4 को करेक्ट कर लो आप, कैनिजारो। तो इस दिस कैनिजारो, तो B के लिए मैच कौन सा कर रहा है आपका? 4, तो B के लिए मैच 4 करेगा बच्चों, 2 आपका डायरेक्ट। तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर, आई थिंक या इट्स करेक्ट वन। तो ये तो बहुत सिंपल था, बट नेम रिएक्शन को थोड़ा सा आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। तो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर ऑल्सो कि उसका रिएक्टेंट क्या है और उसका प्रोडक्ट क्या है। तो उससे भी कई बार हमारे बड़े डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन हो जाते हैं JEE मेन, राइट। ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज समहाउ सम ट्रिकी डेटा इज देयर, तो यू हैव टू जस्ट बी केयरफुल अबाउट दैट, राइट। तो पहला क्वेश्चन था विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज करेक्ट ऑर्डर। तो देखो करेक्ट ऑर्डर पूछा है बच्चों उसने, तो इनकरेक्ट पूछा है इसने, इज आर इनकरेक्ट, तो करेक्ट नहीं पूछा है, यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट इनकरेक्ट। इस सवाल में बहुत बच्चे गलती करते हैं आपके। तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में आपके पास, लेट वी चेक विद द फर्स्ट ऑप्शन, तो दिस इज कार्बोकेटाइन स्टेबिलिटी बेस। तो नाउ दिस इज एरोमेटिक कार्बोकेटाइन, राइट, and this is the special carbocation which has a special kind of open chain resonance, जिसको मैं कई बार क्लास में हम लोग डांसिंग रेजोनेंस के नाम से भी जानते हैं, राइट। तो although it has a different aspect, right, तो रिंग स्ट्रेन के कारण जो आपके ऑर्बिटल्स हैं वो ओवरलैप करने लग जाते हैं, जिससे यहाँ पर डबल बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन हो जाती है। तो ये ब्रिज हेड कैटाइन है, ये अनस्टेबल होना चाहिए, बट इन दिस केस ये 6 मेंबर्ड रिंग है, तो यहाँ रिंग स्ट्रेन इज लेस और इसमें रिंग स्ट्रेन मोर, तो दिस सीम्स टू बी करेक्ट, राइट। तो इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन में आप 1 मार्क नहीं करोगे, बिकॉज दे आर आस्किंग द इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन। इन दिस केस द परसेंटेज इनॉलिक फॉर्म, तो इनॉलिक फॉर्म में देखो इसका अगर हम टॉटोमराइज कर देंगे बच्चों, तो ये एरोमेटिक सिस्टम जनरेट हो जाएगा आपका। और दिस H इज ऑल्सो मोर एसिडिक ड्यू टू माइनस M इफेक्ट ऑफ दिस कार्बोनाइल बॉन्ड। तो सेकंड नंबर में ये भी एरोमेटिक टॉटोमर हो जाएगा आपका। तो दिस इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज गोइंग ऑन। एंड दिस वन, तो इसका टॉटोमरिज्म आप यहां से करोगे तो यहां से यहां आपका स्पेस टॉटोमरिज्म का केस हो गया, तो कॉन्जुगेशन। तो आई थिंक दिस ऑप्शन इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट। तो यू डोंट हैव टू मार्क दीज 2 ऑप्शन। तो 1, 2 आपको मार्क नहीं करना है इसमें, देखो यहां ध्यान दो, ठीक है। तो नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द थर्ड ऑप्शन। तो थर्ड ऑप्शन में थोड़ा सा आपका डेटा इन्वॉल्व है, बिकॉज दिस क्वेश्चन पर डबल बॉन्ड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बच्चों। देखो अगर हम पर मॉलिक्यूल बोलते हैं तो पर मॉलिक्यूल में हम लोगों को ये ध्यान रखना होगा, इसमें एक्सेप्शंस होते हैं बेंजीन वाले में, बिकॉज बेंजीन में एरोमेटिक सिस्टम होता है। तो 3 बॉन्ड्स के लिए जो हीट ऑफ हाइड्रोजनेशन होती है एग्जैक्टली बेंजीन की उतनी नहीं आती है, ड्यू टू एरोमेटिक सब्सटेंस एंड एक्स्ट्रा स्टेबिलिटी इट विल प्रोड्यूस लेस हीट एज कंपेयर टू एक्सपेक्टेड। तो यहां पर अगर हम पर मॉलिक्यूल का डेटा देखें तो दिस इज समहाउ 208 के अराउंड ही आता है आपका, दिस इज 232 के अराउंड, और दिस इज 120 के अराउंड आता है। देखो अगर पर मॉलिक्यूल पूछते हैं, बट दिस क्वेश्चन इज पर बॉन्ड, तो यू हैव टू डिवाइड दिस बाय 3, यू हैव टू डिवाइड दिस बाय 2, यू हैव टू डिवाइड दिस बाय 1। इट मीन्स द स्टेबिलिटी के ऑर्डर में पर बॉन्ड आपका डायरेक्ट ऑप्शन हो गया। देखो तो इट हैज टू बी दिस वे, हीट ऑफ हाइड्रोजनेशन, राइट। तो ये ऑप्शन आपका रॉन्ग हो गया, तो दिस इज रॉन्ग ऑप्शन बच्चों। तो इसका मतलब जहां पे 3 होगा हम उसको मार्क कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। तो 1 तो हो नहीं सकता, इसलिए हमें लग रहा है कि 2 आंसर आ जाएगा। लेट मी ट्राई विद दिस वन। तो देखो बच्चों इसको हटाओगे, यहाँ कार्बन आयन बनेगा विच इज इन कॉन्जुगेशन, तो इसलिए Y सबसे ज्यादा एसिडिक होना चाहिए। देखो आपका फिर sp2 से H हटेगा, कार्बन आयन इज मोर स्टेबल, और यहाँ पर sp3 से H हटाओगे तो कार्बन आयन इज अनस्टेबल, नॉट इन कॉन्जुगेशन। तो 2 केस में कार्बन आयन स्टेबल है, बट 1 केस में रेजोनेंस है। तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर हमारा क्या होना चाहिए? Y सबसे पहले आ जाना चाहिए, देन Z और देन X। तो हेंस इट इज ऑल्सो इनकरेक्ट। तो बच्चों इनकरेक्ट में आपका 2 ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट वन। तो यहां पे थोड़ा आपको डेटा एनालिसिस भी करना था, राइट। तो नाउ लेट्स चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो आई होप इट शुड बी 2। नाउ इट्स करेक्ट वन। ठीक है बच्चों, ओके। तो नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। तो इन नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अगेन देयर इज सम reactions are given where famous name reactions are given. Woods reaction, Lucas reaction, Finkelstein reaction and Hofmann bromide degradation. तो देखो जिस बच्चे को यहाँ नेम रिएक्शन याद थे तो वो डायरेक्टली समझ जाएगा कि भाई एरोमेटिक हैलाइड्स में जो अराइल हैलाइड्स होते हैं दे डू नॉट गिव दिस वुड्स रिएक्शन, राइट। तो Cl बॉन्ड के कॉन्जुगेशन के कारण फिनाइल डॉट की लेस स्टेबिलिटी के कारण। तो इन दिस केसेस में ये करेक्ट लग रहा है, ये करेक्ट लग रहा है, ये करेक्ट लग रहा है, यही इनकरेक्ट है देखो आपका। तो इसका मतलब इनकरेक्टली रिप्रेजेंट। तो बच्चों देखो इस बार के पेपर में हमने करेक्टली इनकरेक्टली में बड़ा ध्यान रखा था, क्योंकि कई बच्चे जो मिस्टेक्स करते हैं जनरली वो अवॉइड करें, और आपकी बिफोर राइटिंग द रियल जेईई मेन एग्जाम यू हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू एनालाइज योरसेल्फ कि आप कहाँ मिस्टेक्स करते हैं। Try to note down your mistakes and try to avoid such mistakes in next coming exams, right? Okay student, let me check the answer of this question. तो ठीक है, Wood's reaction was incorrectly matched in that case, right? Okay student, तो now अगला सवाल coordination chemistry से है, तो it is quite popular question. तो first statement is very simple. तो again incorrect. तो student जब भी क्वेश्चन को रीड करो, करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट, be careful, I am asking this third and fourth time, right? Okay, तो कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर ऑफ कोबाल्ट, तो कोबाल्ट का कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर देखो En आपका बाइडेंटेड लिगेंड है, तो 4 कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर इससे हो जाएगा आपके पास, और इससे 2 कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर हो जाएगा, क्योंकि ये तो आपका आयनाइजेशन स्पेयर का हिस्सा है बच्चों। तो कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर 6 करेक्ट हो गया। पॉसिबल स्टीरियो आइसोमर ऑफ कोबाल्ट ऑक्सिलेट, तो अगेन ये बाइडेंटेड लिगेंड है, तो बाइडेंटेड लिगेंड को यू विल कीप ओनली सिस पोजीशन। तो लाइक आपने Br यहां लगा दिया और NH3 यहां लगा दिया बच्चों, ठीक है। तो यहां पर आपने इस तरह से केस ले लिया और इसका ये ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया, एंड देन अगर आपको उसका सिस फॉर्म एनालाइज करना है, तो अगर इसका सिस फॉर्म एनालाइज करना है आपको, तो ये इसका सिस फॉर्म हो गया, तो यहां पर आपने NH3 लगा दिया, दैट इज Cl। तो अगर हमने इसको बनाया 2-, दिस इज ऑप्टिकली एक्टिव, ये सिस, दिस इज ट्रांसफॉर्म और ये सिस फॉर्म। तो सिस अगर ऑप्टिकली एक्टिव होगा तो इसके 2 आइसोमर हो जाएंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल मिरर इमेज, ठीक है। और इस वाले केस में आपका ये ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया, एंड ट्रांस इज ऑप्टिकली इनएक्टिव ड्यू टू प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री प्रेजेंट ऑन दिस। तो हेंस दिस इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट, दिस इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट, ठीक है बच्चों। तो नेक्स्ट चलते हैं NiCO4, देखते ही पता चल गया सबको, दिस इज sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन। कॉमन क्वेश्चन है बच्चों, NiCO4 sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन। तो D8 D10 कॉम्प्लेक्स हो गया, निकल हैज 0 स्टेट, तो D10 में देयर इज नो अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन, हेंस मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट इज 0, राइट। तो इसलिए टेट्राहेड्रल कॉम्प्लेक्स करेक्ट है। तो 1 2 3 ऑल आर करेक्ट, तो इट मींस 4 के क्वाइट पॉसिबल चांस है कि ये रॉन्ग हो। तो लेट वी चेक विद दिस, राइट। तो 4 में आपके पास ये स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड है देखो बच्चों, और ये आपका है वीक फील्ड लिगेंड, स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड एंड वीक फील्ड लिगेंड। तो स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड क्या करेगा इस केस में, कॉम्प्लेक्स को स्टेबलाइज ज्यादा करेगा, राइट, क्योंकि ये वाला जो कॉम्प्लेक्स है दैट इज Mn2+ का कॉम्प्लेक्स, और ये वाला जो कॉम्प्लेक्स है दैट इज Fe2+ का कॉम्प्लेक्स। तो 1 इज अ D6 कॉम्प्लेक्स, 1 इज अ D5 कॉम्प्लेक्स। तो अल्टीमेटली स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड भी है और यहाँ पे पेयरिंग एनर्जी भी कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी, तो इट हैज टू बी मोर स्टेबल। तो लेस की बजाय ये मोर स्टेबल होना चाहिए, दैट इज द रॉन्ग आंसर बच्चों, ठीक है। ओके, लेट मी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन था, देखिए। तो 4th ऑप्शन इज इनकरेक्टली मैच्ड। नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट। नाउ यहां पर अब पहली बार करेक्ट आया है तो आपको ध्यान रखना होगा, तो फ्लो में जो इनकरेक्ट चल रहा है उस पर आपको फोकस नहीं करना है। तो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट He2+ हैज सेम एनर्जी एज 2 आइसोलेटेड हीलियम एटम। तो मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल का क्वेश्चन है, तो He2 डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट, क्योंकि एग्जिस्ट करेगा तो इसका बॉन्ड ऑर्डर 0 हो जाएगा देखो। तो इफ इट डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट तो He2+1 में एटलीस्ट बॉन्ड ऑर्डर 0.5 तो आएगा ना। तो इसलिए तो पहला स्टेटमेंट हो गया सेम एनर्जी, तो ये रॉन्ग हो गया देखो, बिकॉज देयर स्टेबिलिटी इज डिफरेंट, देयर एनर्जी शुड बी डिफरेंट। Sigma 2pz has 1 node in the xz plane. Student, इसमें टोटल 3 नोड होते हैं आपके इस सिग्मा 2pz ऑर्बिटल में। सिग्मा स्टार है दैट इज एंटी बॉन्डिंग मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल। तो ये भी इनकरेक्ट हो गया आपका देखो। O2 2 plus is expected to have higher bond order than O2. तो O2 2 plus इसको हम किससे ऐड कर सकते हैं, लाइक 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन हमने O2 से, तो बॉन्ड ऑर्डर 2 था तो इसका बॉन्ड ऑर्डर 3 हो जाएगा, ठीक है, और इसका बॉन्ड ऑर्डर आपका 2 रहेगा। तो मेरे ख्याल से अब आप लोग इसको सॉल्व कर ही चुके हैं, तो मैं इसको डायरेक्ट बता देता हूं। तो यानी 3 इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन बच्चों। तो MOT का ऑप्शन लगाएंगे, कॉन्फ़िगरेशन लिखेंगे, यू विल गेट टू नो दिस। एंड बॉन्ड ऑर्डर ऑफ O2 प्लस, तो ये 2.5 होता है आपको, ठीक है, और ये वाला बॉन्ड ऑर्डर हो गया 2, तो इट इज स्मॉलर, तो स्मॉलर नहीं है, इट इज हायर देन दैट O2 बॉन्ड ऑर्डर, ठीक है। तो आई होप आपका फोर्थ ऑप्शन इनकरेक्ट हो गया। देखो, तो विच वन इज करेक्ट, ओनली थर्ड इनकरेक्ट। तो ये इनकरेक्ट एंड थर्ड इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन, ठीक है बच्चों। तो लेट वी चेक द ऑप्शन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो ऑप्शन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज थर्ड वन इज करेक्ट। तो करेक्ट आपको ढूंढना था, ठीक है। नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन केमिकल काइनेटिक्स। तो केमिकल काइनेटिक्स में देयर इज अ वेरी कॉमन स्टेटमेंट जहां पर हम लोग कहते हैं द डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन। तो डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन मतलब केमिकल काइनेटिक्स में अल्फा विच इज इक्वल टू A0 माइनस AT अपॉन A0 इंटू 100% कर दोगे बच्चों, तो ये आपका डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन होता है, जिसको 1 माइनस e टू द पावर KT के टर्म्स में भी आप अल्फा लिख सकते हो। देखो, तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपको ये क्लिक करना चाहिए कि भाई इसमें डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन को हाउ टू कनेक्ट विद द केमिकल काइनेटिक्स। तो हमने सबसे पहले स्टेटमेंट को इससे कनेक्ट कर लिया। नाउ वी हैव टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन। तो आई विल सॉल्व हियर ओनली बिकॉज सो दैट वी कैन इजीली यूज दिस डेटा। तो एज K की यूनिट, तो बच्चों कई बार ध्यान देना है कि आपको ऑर्डर पता नहीं रहता, यहाँ पे रिएक्शन में ऑर्डर नहीं गिवन था, तो K की यूनिट सेकंड इनवर्स विल गिव यू दिस इज फर्स्ट ऑर्डर काइनेटिक्स। तो इसलिए हमने फर्स्ट ऑर्डर काइनेटिक्स के लिए अल्फा का टर्म यूज कर लिया यहाँ पे, ठीक है। ऑल्दो वी विल डायरेक्टली सॉल्व बाय दिस क्वेश्चन। तो सबसे पहले हम लोगों ने क्या यूज कर लिया, तो KT इज इक्वल टू 2.303 log A0 by AT। तो KT देखो कैलकुलेशन इज वेरी सिंपल गिवन देयर, बिकॉज ये भी 2.303 है और ये 0.477 टाइम दे रखा आपको, एंड दैट इज 2.303 log A0 by AT, ठीक है बच्चों। तो इससे इसको कैंसिल आउट कर लो और ये आपका आ गया 0.477 इज इक्वल टू log A0 by AT। तो काइनेटिक्स है तो थोड़ा न्यूमेरिकल है, तो मैं इसको थोड़ा मेंशन कर दे रहा हूं बच्चों, क्योंकि डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आप सॉल्व करोगे। तो दिस वैल्यू इज इक्वल टू log 3। तो ये log 3 आपको गिवन है, देखो सी इन द क्वेश्चन। तो log रूल लगा के आप इसको सिंपली सॉल्व कर सकते हो। तो A0 by AT, तो क्लियरली आई कैन सी दैट A0 by AT इज इक्वल टू 3। तो मैं AT by A0 करके दोनों तरफ 1 माइनस सब्सट्रैक्ट कर दूं, तो आई विल गेट दिस वैल्यू। तो इस वैल्यू को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, तो ये हमारा अल्फा कितना हो जाएगा फिर यहाँ पर। तो अल्फा को हम क्या कर सकते हैं, दैट इज ऑलमोस्ट 2/3 इंटू 100, तो ये आ गया 66.66%। तो यानी सेकंड क्वेश्चन आपका ये आना चाहिए। तो अल्फा का फॉर्मूला बच्चों ये यूज करोगे तो आई होप इट्स वेरी सिंपल और डायरेक्टली आपका सॉल्व हो जाएगा, राइट। तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो आई थिंक इट इज 66.66, ठीक है बच्चों, ओके। तो अगर आपको नोट करना हो किसी को तो वो नोट भी कर सकता है, ठीक है। तो आई थिंक इट्स वेरी सिंपल कैलकुलेशन। तो आप अपना आंसर क्रॉस चेक करिए, जहां आपने मिस्टेक्स करी उसको पकड़िए इसमें, ठीक है, सो दैट इट वुड नेवर रिपीट अगेन। मेन ध्यान आपको ही देना है टेस्ट एनालिसिस में कि आपने जो मिस्टेक्स करी वो दोबारा आपकी रिपीट नहीं हो। अगर मैक्सिमम हमारे इन्विक्टिस के टेस्ट देते देते आपने अपने मिस्टेक्स को अवॉइड कर दिया तो इट विल बी अ गेम चेंजर फॉर योर स्टूडेंट, आई एम टेलिंग यू। So participate very seriously in these tests and also do the proper test analysis of each test. To find out your weakness, you have to fight with your weakness. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में चलते हैं हम लोग। तो नाउ आंसर तो मैंने इसका बता दिया था आपको। तो आगे चलते हैं फॉर अ केमिकल इक्विलिब्रियम का एक क्वेश्चन है। देखो बच्चों यहाँ पर, तो यहाँ पर स्टेट बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। दिस इज सॉलिड, तो 2B C gases, ए पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ D gas at equilibrium is P1। तो देखो बच्चों यहाँ पर ये मेंशन नहीं कर रखा है कि शुरू में कंटेनर में क्या था, तो आप ये मान के चलोगे कि आपने कुछ मेंशन नहीं है तो आपको ये पता होगा कि ए सॉलिड इनिशियली कंटेनर में रखा था, ऑल्दो अगर ये लैंग्वेज में मेंशन कर देते तो इट वुड बी बेटर फॉर अस, बट सिंपली ए सॉलिड। तो अब हमने क्या कर लिया, इस ए सॉलिड वाले इक्विलिब्रियम को मैंने यहाँ पे प्रेशर के टर्म्स में लिख दिया, 2b गैस प्लस c गैस एंड प्लस 3d गैस। ठीक है बच्चों, तो अगर यहाँ से इसका प्रेशर 2p इसमें गया होगा तो इसके करस्पॉन्ड प्रेशर p, तो ये 3p हुआ होगा प्रेशर, ऑब्वियस सी बात है, प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम। तो मोल रेशियो प्रेशर रेशियो सेम होगा, कंटेनर क्योंकि क्लोज होगा और टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट होगा। ठीक है बच्चों, अब यहाँ पर गिवन है 3p इक्वल टू P1 बच्चों आपको गिवन है, तो इट मीन्स p इक्वल टू P1/3। तो इट मीन्स मैं सबका पार्शियल प्रेशर मेंशन कर सकता हूँ यहाँ पे, तो ये आपका 2P1/3 के टर्म्स में लिख लिया मैंने, इसको मैंने लिख दिया P इक्वल टू P1/3 के टर्म्स में, और इसको मैंने लिख दिया P1 के टर्म्स में। वेरी सिंपल। तो नाउ अब Kp का एक्सप्रेशन सबको पता है और पार्शियल प्रेशर सबको पता है, तो आई थिंक Kp इज इक्वल टू पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ B का स्क्वायर, हम इसको कर देंगे, इनटू पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ C और इनटू पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ D का होल क्यूब। तो अगर आप इस पूरी वैल्यू को पुट कर दो, देख लो यहाँ पे, तो अगर आपने 2P1/3 का होल स्क्वायर अगर आपने यहाँ पे कर दिया, एंड दिस यू विल पुट PC दैट इज P1/3। ठीक है बच्चों, और इफ यू आर पुटिंग PD की वैल्यू यहाँ पे रख दो दैट इज P1, तो P1 का होल क्यूब। तो देखो पावर से भी मैच कर सकते हो, 6 पावर तो आ ही जाएगा आपका, तो 6 पावर आके 2 दैट इज 4 और ये 3, ये 27 हो जाएगा। तो 4P1/6/27। तो पावर से भी देखो बहुत क्लोज ऑप्शन थे ये दोनों आपके, जिसमें आप पावर में मिस्टेक कर सकते थे, तो सम टाइम इट्स हैपन, बट आंसर आपका पावर से सॉल्व हो जाएगा। देखो ठीक है, तो क्विक फास्ट इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। ओके स्टूडेंट, तो लेट्स चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो आई होप जिसको नहीं समझ में आया उसने नोट कर लिया होगा, अगर किसी का कोई डाउट यहाँ पे रहा होगा तो। ठीक है बच्चों, ओके, तो लेट्स चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। यस, थर्ड ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट। ओके, तो in next question, which of the following statement is true? Orbital angular momentum of electron, orbital angular momentum of electron in 4f। तो बच्चों 4f के लिए L की वैल्यू कितनी आ गई आपके पास 3। तो ऑर्बिटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, अंडर रूट ऑफ L इंटू L+1 इंटू h/2 पाई। तो ऑब्वियसली L इक्वल टू 3 पुट करोगे तो दैट इज √12 विच इज 2√3। दिस इज वेरी करेक्ट। तो ऑर्बिटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम का फॉर्मूला क्या लिखोगे, अंडर रूट ऑफ L इंटू L+1 इंटू h/2। ठीक है बच्चों, वेवलेंथ इजेक्टेड फॉर फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन hc/λ। तो नाउ फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन, तो वेरी सिंपल स्टेटमेंट 1 तो हमारा करेक्ट हो गया, लेकिन 2 रॉन्ग। फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन पर hc/λ लगा दिया। दिस इक्वेशन इज वैलिड फॉर फोटोन, नॉट फॉर द मैटर। वहां तो आप वेवलेंथ की बात करोगे डी ब्रॉगली के टर्म्स में, तो इसलिए इलेक्ट्रॉन पर आप फोटोन की थियरी अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते। इलेक्ट्रॉन चार्ज पार्टिकल है, फोटोन न्यूट्रल पार्टिकल, तो इसलिए दिस इज रॉन्ग। तो यहाँ पे ट्रू बोल रहा है, तो वैसे हमारा आंसर तो पहला ही हो गया। यहाँ पे देखते ही देखो, मैंने पहला सॉल्व किया और जिसको एंगुलर मोमेंटम का फॉर्मूला पता था उसने इस सवाल को डायरेक्ट सॉल्व कर लिया। देखो, तो L की वैल्यू 3 रख दें, F ऑर्बिटल को पहचान लिया हमने, तो सिंपली फर्स्ट वन इज करेक्ट। ठीक है बच्चों, फिर ये रिजेक्ट हो गया। बामर सीरीज रेडिएशन UV, बामर सीरीज हाइड्रोजन की विजिबल रीजन में लाई करती है। तो पहले UV रीजन बोल दिया तो ये गलत हो गया। दिस इज रॉन्ग बिकॉज इट शुड बी इन बामर रीजन, राइट। और बामर मतलब विजिबल रीजन, कलरफुल स्पेक्ट्रम जो दिखाई देगा दैट इज इन विजिबल रीजन। तो जो विव्योर रीजन में फॉल करेगा दैट इज बामर रीजन। N की वैल्यू 2 पे ट्रांजिशन आपका होना चाहिए। तो नंबर ऑफ वेव ऑफ Li2 प्लस in is 3। तो ठीक है, थर्ड ऑर्बिट हो गया, n इक्वल टू 3 पता चल गया बिकॉज 2πr इक्वल टू n लैम्डा। वेरी सिंपल, n की वैल्यू 3। अब इट्स डी ब्रॉगली सर्कमफ्रेंसेस, तो यही तो डी ब्रॉगली सर्कमफ्रेंसेस है बच्चों। तो डी ब्रॉगली सर्कमफ्रेंस हो गया बच्चों 2πr, और r की वैल्यू रख दो। तो r हमारा हो गया 0.591 y इंटू n²/z। अब यहाँ पर z की वैल्यू रख दो, n की वैल्यू पुट कर दो, तो आई थिंक इट विल कम नियर बाई 9.96 एंगस्ट्रॉम। लेकिन आंसर कितना दे रखा आपका, 10 एंगस्ट्रॉम दे रखा। तो आफ्टर सॉल्विंग दैट यू विल गेट 9.96 एंगस्ट्रॉम। ठीक है, तो इसलिए दिस इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग। तो हेंस 2, 3, 4 ऑल आर इनकरेक्ट। तो ये कभी सही नहीं हो सकते आपका। ठीक है बच्चों, तो मिस्टेक इसमें अपने आइडेंटिफाई कर ली होगी सबने। तो नाउ लेट्स check the answer of this question. 1 is correct answer. Okay, so next, move the next question. 500 ml saturated aqueous solution contain 1.202 बेरियम फॉस्फेट. तो सबसे पहले बच्चों जैसे कोई कंपाउंड आया पहले उसका फॉर्मूला लिख दो, क्योंकि इससे मोलर मास निकालना आसान हो जाएगा. और इसका मोलर मास रख दोगे तो 601 इसका मॉलिक्यूलर वेट आ जाएगा. ठीक है, बेरियम का ऑलरेडी गिवन है आपको, फॉस्फोरस का गिवन है, चेक विद दिस. ठीक है, तो अगर आपको 500 तो इसकी सॉल्युबिलिटी को मुझे मोल पर लीटर में निकालना है, तो दैट इज 1.202 अपॉन दैट इज 601 और इसको हमने ले लिया 500 ml में, तो इससे मैंने सॉल्युबिलिटी मोल पर लीटर में निकाल लिया. देखो ये सॉल्युबिलिटी होगी बेरियम फॉस्फेट. तो अगर सॉल्युबिलिटी हो गई तो अब हम इसको आयनाइज कर देंगे बच्चों. तो Ba3PO4 होल ट्वाइस, तो 3Ba2 प्लस एक्वस एंड 2 फॉस्फेट, ये एक्वस आ गया. तो अगर इसकी सॉल्युबिलिटी S मोल पर लीटर है बच्चों, तो ऑब्वियसली ये 3S और ये 2S हो जाएगा. तो हम यहां पे क्लियरली समझ गए कि जो KSP है हमारा वो क्या हो गया आपका, दैट इज 3 की पावर ले लेंगे, A3B2 टाइप का क्वेश्चन हो गया आपका. तो दैट इज नियरली, इस क्वेश्चन को हम KSP में S की वैल्यू हमें पता चली गई, दैट इज इसको सॉल्व कर लें अगर हम नियरली, तो इसको अगर हम नियरली सॉल्व कर लें, यहाँ से S की वैल्यू पुट कर दें और यहाँ से KSP का फॉर्मूला बन गया. ठीक है, तो KSP के फॉर्मूले को हम यहाँ रख देंगे. देखो 3S का क्यूब इंटू 2S का स्क्वायर, ऊपर से S सॉल्व करो, वैल्यू यहाँ पुट कर दो, तो नियर बाई आपका आंसर आ जाना चाहिए. देखो चेक करो एक बार. तो एवरीवन कैन सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. तो ट्रिक ये था कि भाई आपको सॉल्युबिलिटी पहले मोल पर लीटर में निकालना है, तो यू हैव टू यूज द मोलर मास आल्सो. और जब मोलर मास में सॉल्युबिलिटी होगी तभी आप KSP का एक्सप्रेशंस में लगा सकते हो. ठीक है बच्चों, तो नाउ सब अब अपने हिसाब से सॉल्व करेंगे. तो एवरीबडी हैज टू कैलकुलेट दिस वन. वैसे नियर अबाउट 4 इंटू 10 टू द पावर A-3 आ जाएगा, तो उस पावर से आप निकाल सकते हो इसको. ओके स्टूडेंट, ओके. तो ये 500 होगा, ऑब्वियस सी बात है, क्योंकि 500 ml वॉल्यूम दिया तो मैंने 50 ml लिख दिया था इसको. तो नाउ इट इज 500 ml. तो इससे आप सॉल्व करो. राइट स्टूडेंट, ठीक है, ओके. 500 ml कर दोगे वॉल्यूम है ना, तो उसकी मोलरिटी सॉल्व कर दोगे. तो आई होप यू विल डू दिस. ठीक है, ओके. तो लेट्स चेक द आंसर. तो इसको नियर बाई सॉल्व करोगे तो बच्चों पावर पे है, आ जाएगा आपका ये आंसर, करेक्ट सॉल्व करके आ जाएगा. तो दैट्स वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चन. तो लेट्स चेक द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में E0 सेल ऑफ द रिएक्शन आपको दिया हुआ है, दैट इज 0.8 वोल्ट. तो ये बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन आपको गिवन है. तो स्टूडेंट जब भी कोई सेल रिएक्शन आपको गिवन होगा कभी भी कहीं पर भी, तो सबसे पहले आप उसको कंप्लीटली बैलेंस रिएक्शन लिखेंगे, क्योंकि यहां पर आपको डेल्टा G गिवन है. देखो सारे के सारे, तो यानी अगर हम प्रोडक्ट की इंथैल्पी या प्रोडक्ट की फ्री एनर्जी माइनस रिएक्टेंट की फ्री एनर्जी का समेशन करेंगे, जब उसका डिफरेंस निकालेंगे हम फाइनली यहाँ पे, तो उस वक्त आपके लिए स्टोइचियोमेट्रिक कोएफिशिएंट बैलेंस होना बहुत जरूरी है. तो लेट्स चेक दी फर्स्ट दी बैलेंस इक्वेशन. तो यहाँ पर आयरन आपका ऑक्सीडाइज हो रहा है और यहाँ पर MnO4 आपका रिड्यूस हो रहा है, मीडियम एसिडिक है. तो आप इसको बैलेंस करके लिख लेना पहले. तो 5Fe2 प्लस MnO4 माइनस बच्चों और प्लस 8H प्लस. तो ये कॉमन रिएक्शन है इसलिए सबको याद रहता ही है, तो आप इसको बैलेंस भी कर सकते हो. तो Mn+2 एंड 4H2. राइट. तो सबसे पहले अगर हम इसका डेल्टा G सॉल्व करेंगे, तो डेल्टा G जो रिएक्शन का हम सॉल्व करेंगे, दैट इज सिग्मा ऑफ डेल्टा G ऑफ प्रोडक्ट माइनस डेल्टा G0 ऑफ रिएक्टेंट. तो इसको हम लोग इसका सिग्मा कर लेंगे, मतलब उसमें पूरा का पूरा डेल्टा तो हमें दे ही रखा है सबका, तो ये रिएक्टेंट का सम कर लेंगे. अब यहां पर जो डेल्टा G आपको गिवन है बच्चों, डेल्टा G0 दैट इज इक्वल टू माइनस NFE0. तो ये आपको गिवन है. अब n यहां पर 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज एंड 5 गेन है, चेक कर लो, n इक्वल टू 5. तो यहां से आपने -5 इंटू दैट इज 96500 फैरेड की वैल्यू दे रखी है आपको, और इंटू E0 आपका 0.8 बोल देगा. तो बच्चों सबसे पहले आप इसको सॉल्व करके डेल्टा जी नॉट निकालेंगे, देखो, ठीक है। अगर डेल्टा जी नॉट आ गया तो सबकी स्टोशियोमेट्री क्लियर होगी, देखो, तो स्टोशियोमेट्री क्लियर होगी। तो अब एक प्रॉब्लम है कि H प्लस का डेल्टा जी नॉट नहीं गिवन है, तो आप जानते हो स्टैंडर्ड हीट ऑफ जो फॉर्मेशन होता है डेल्टा जी एफ नॉट H प्लस का, दैट इज इक्वल टू 0। ये कॉन्सेप्ट यहां पे छुपाया गया था, क्योंकि प्रोडक्ट में आपको Fe3 प्लस का दे रखा है, चेक करो, Mn का दे रखा है, वाटर का दे रखा है, बट H प्लस वॉज मिसिंग। तो डेल्टा जी एफ नॉट फॉर H प्लस प्रोडक्शन इन द सोल्यूशन फ्री एनर्जी यानी वो 0 है, देखो, ठीक है। तो इसको आपका कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करना था। तो सिमिलरली बाय सॉल्विंग दिस क्वेश्चन यू विल डेफिनेटली गेट दिस आंसर, क्योंकि आपको प्रोडक्ट और रिएक्टेंट दे रखे हैं, तो अब तो सीधा मैथमेटिक्स का सिग्मा वाला क्वेश्चन हो गया। बट कीप इन योर माइंड, स्टोशियोमेट्री अगर आपने गलत लिखा तो मल्टीप्लाइंग फैक्टर आपका चेंज हो जाएगा। तो अगर मल्टीप्लाइंग फैक्टर चेंज हो गया तो आपको न्यूमेरिकल में बड़ा मिस्टेक हो सकता है, प्लस माइनस का बड़ा ख्याल रखना आपको इसमें, ठीक है। और वैसे भी यहाँ मैग्नीट्यूड बोलता है, जो भी आपका आंसर है आपको मैग्नीट्यूड में लेना है। तो बाय सॉल्विंग दिस यू विल गेट डेफिनेटली दिस आंसर। तो यहां पर डेल्टा जी नॉट की वैल्यू पुट कर देना है और यहां प्रोडक्ट माइनस रिएक्टेंट का सम कर दो, ये मिसिंग था, इसकी वैल्यू पुट कर दो, ठीक है बच्चों, राइट। तो नाउ इसको नोट करके आप इसको कंप्लीट कर सकते हो। तो चेक कर लो एक बार, कैलकुलेशन चेक कर लो, बिकॉज कॉमन क्वेश्चन है तो हम लोगों को काफी बार प्रैक्टिस हो गई है इसकी, ठीक है, ओके। तो नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट ऑफ एन एक्वस सोल्यूशन ऑफ मोनोबेसिक वीक एसिड इज HA 0.1 m। तो डेल्टा TF आपको गिवन हो गया, देखो इसमें, ठीक है। तो क्रायोस्कोपिक कांस्टेंट KF एंड द परसेंटेज आयनाइजेशन कांस्टेंट ऑफ अल्फा इज अप्रॉक्सीमेटली, ठीक है बच्चों। तो कॉलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी का क्वेश्चन है। तो डेल्टा TF सबको पता ही है क्या होता है, I इंटू KF इंटू मोलेलिटी, ये आपका डेल्टा TF का फॉर्मूला है। डेल्टा TF आपको डायरेक्टली दे रखा है यहाँ पे, देखो 0.2, और वांट ऑफ फैक्टर आपको निकालना है यहाँ पे, दैट इज KF इज 1.86, मोलेलिटी इज 0.10। तो यहाँ से आपने I सॉल्व कर लो, तो 0.2 1.86 इंटू 0.10, तो ये 1.075 कुछ आपका आ जाएगा, देखो सॉल्व कर। I वैसे भी आयनाइजेशन का है तो ग्रेटर देन 1। अब HA के आयनाइजेशन को हम यूज कर लेंगे यहाँ पे, H प्लस प्लस A माइनस, तो इसके I और अल्फा में क्या रिलेशन आ गया, 1 प्लस अल्फा इक्वल टू I, तो इट मीन्स अल्फा इक्वल टू I माइनस 1। तो I माइनस 1 कितना आ गया, 0.075, तो इट मीन्स इट इज 7.5%। तो बहुत सीधा और स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन था, ठीक है। तो नाउ 7.5 शुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर। तो नेक्स्ट वन इज, तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन, यस 7.5%। तो एक बार इसकी कैलकुलेशन सब लोग ट्राई कर लेंगे बच्चों, इसको चेक कर लेना, तो ये नियर बाई वैल्यू आपकी यहां पे आ जाएगी, ओके। तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज रिवर्सिबल, दिस इज 2 मोल ऑफ एन आइडियल गैस अंडरगोइंग रिवर्सिबल आइसोथर्मल एक्सपेंशन। तो बच्चों रिवर्सिबल आइसोथर्मल एक्सपेंशन का सवाल है और गिब्स फ्री एनर्जी पूछा जा रहा है आपसे। तो गिब्स फ्री एनर्जी में कई बच्चे इसमें मिस्टेक करते हैं, तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि जो dg की वैल्यू आती है वो क्या आती है बच्चों, VdP माइनस SdT। तो आइसोथर्मल के लिए dt आपका क्या हो गया 0, तो dg इक्वल टू, इससे हम एक इक्वेशन बना सकते हैं, देख लो। तो इट मीन्स अगर हम किसी भी चेंज को G1 टू G2 अगर हम इसको चेंज कर रहे हैं, G1 टू G2, दैट इज dg, दिस इज इक्वल टू P1 टू P2, तो एक एक्सप्रेशन डायरेक्टली सब लोग जानते हैं PdP, और आइडियल गैस बोला गया तो PV इक्वल टू nRT सबको पता है, एवरीवन नो। तो V की वैल्यू मैंने पुट कर दी nRT बाई P, बस। अब V की वैल्यू पुट करने के बाद nRT बाई P मैंने एक एक्सप्रेशन निकाल दिया इसमें, तो डेल्टा G का एक्सप्रेशन क्या आ गया बच्चों यहाँ पे, दैट इज 2.303 इंटू N, अब हमने इसको RT log P2 बाई P1। तो बस यहाँ पर आपका डेल्टा G गिवन है, आपको log 2 की भी वैल्यू गिवन है, देख लो 0.30, टेम्परेचर दे रखा 300 और प्रेशर 2 to 1 atm जा रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली डेल्टा G नेगेटिव आएगा, ठीक है। तो डेल्टा G इज नेगेटिव, क्योंकि एक्सपेंशन का केस है तो ऑटोमेटिक होगा, तो यानी इरिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस होगा, सो दैट डेल्टा G हैज टू बी नेगेटिव। तो बाय सॉल्विंग दिस वैल्यू P1 P2 की यहाँ वैल्यू पुट कर दो, RT की वैल्यू पुट कर दो, तो नियर बाई यू विल गेट दिस आंसर इन दैट केस। ठीक है बच्चों, तो यहां पर आपको ये एक्सप्रेशन याद होना चाहिए या इसको डेराइव कर सकते हो आप। तो आइसोथर्मल प्रोसेस बोला था तो हमने DG के लिए एक्सप्रेशन डेराइव कर, राइट। तो बाय सॉल्विंग दिस, ट्राई टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन एंड ट्राई टू गेट दिस आंसर। एक बार क्रॉस चेक कर लेते हैं, तो इसका आंसर यही होना चाहिए, तो ताकि आंसर की भी एक्यूरेट है या नहीं है क्रॉस चेक हो जाएगा। अब 2 ATM से 1 ATM गया तो दैट इज एक्सपेंशन, विच इज प्रेशर डिफरेंस के कारण एक्सपेंशन हो रहा है। इट हैज टू बी इरिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस, तो डेल्टा G उस प्रोसेस का नेगेटिव आएगा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बच्चों, सेलेक्ट द इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन। देख लो अगेन, इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन को आपको केयरफुली लर्न करना है इसमें, ठीक है। तो इन N2O5 n एटम इज sp2 एंड sp, तो सॉलिड, देखो बच्चों सॉलिड स्टेट में एग्जिस्टेंस देखना होगा आपको। तो ये कैसे एग्जिस्ट करता है, एक आयनिक कंपाउंड है, देख लो आपका। तो इसका मतलब ये तो sp होगा और ये sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड हो गया, देखो पहले। तो पहला स्टेटमेंट आपका गलत हो, देखो sp2 एंड sp, तो ये तो सही हो गया स्टेटमेंट। एंड Cl2O6 इन सॉलिड स्टेट, ये कैसे एग्जिस्ट करता देख लो, ClO4 माइनस एंड ClO2 प्लस, ये इसमें एग्जिस्ट करेगा देखो। तो यहां पर भी आपका sp3 एंड sp2, ये भी आपका करेक्ट हो जाएगा देखो। TlI3, तो TlI3 का आयनाइजेशन क्या होगा, इनर्ट पेयर इफेक्ट याद होना चाहिए सबको। तो Tl+1 फॉर्म करेगा और I3-1, तो ये लीनियर मॉलिक्यूल है sp3d, तो ये भी करेक्ट है आपका देखो, ठीक है। तो सॉलिड स्टेट में कौन कंपाउंड कैसे एग्जिस्ट करता है, अगर आपको ये नॉलेज होगी, ये पता होगा। इनऑर्गेनिक है, थोड़ा इन्फॉर्मेशन भी आपको लर्न करनी पड़ेगी, राइट। तो आप इनको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो। अब PBr5 इन ब्रोमीन एटम इज बोथ sp3 एंड sp3, तो देखो PCl5 और PBr5 की एग्जिस्टेंस अलग अलग होता, देख लो। तो ये जो एग्जिस्ट करता है आपका, वो इस तरह से एग्जिस्ट करता है देखो आपका। तो इसको मैं ऐसे लगा दे रहा हूँ एंड Br माइनस, तो इसका हाइब्रिडाइजेशन क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों, sp3, हेंस इट इज रॉन्ग। तो फोर्थ आंसर आपका गलत हो गया इसमें। क्यों गलत हो गया, क्योंकि इन्होंने PCl5 की तरह से सॉल्व कर दिया, जबकि PBr5 और PCl5 सॉलिड स्टेट में सिमिलर एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि Br का साइज तो क्लोरीन के बराबर नहीं है। तो आयनिक लैटिस का जो साइज कंपैटिबिलिटी होगा वो तो अलग अलग होगा दोनों का। फिर भी ये इंफॉर्मेशन आपको लर्न करनी पड़ेगी, ठीक है स्टूडेंट। तो this way you can solve this question. So hence 4 should be incorrect option in that case, right? So let's move to the next question. Let me check the answer of this question. Yes, this is incorrect one. ठीक है बच्चों? Okay. Now 43 question based on KClO3. This is again an inorganic question based. तो inorganic में बच्चों आपको reaction बहुत अच्छे से आनी चाहिए, देखो इसमें। तो KClO3 को जब MnO2 में हीट करते हैं तो स्टेप वाइज चलते जाते हैं हम लोग। देखो ये KClO3 था, इसको MnO2 की प्रेजेंस में हीट किया तो बच्चों क्या बनाएगा, O2 प्लस KCl। और O2 जो है एक पैरामैग्नेटिक गैस है, इट हैज 2 अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन, ठीक है। इसका अगर आप मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट निकालोगे नॉन जीरो आएगा, 2 अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन है, MOT के थ्रू आप चेक कर सकते हो। तो पैरामैग्नेटिक गैस X इज O2, तो ये आपका X हो गया, देखिएगा। फिर X रिएक्ट विद दिस व्हाइट फॉस्फोरस, तो ये आपका व्हाइट फॉस्फोरस यानी X आपका यहाँ पर O2 था, तो इसको हम यूज कर लेते हैं यहां पर। तो ये P4O10 बच जाएगा। तो P4O10 इज अ सॉलिड Y, ठीक है बच्चों। P4O10 एक सॉलिड होगा आपका Y। देन हीटेड विद HNO3, तो P4O10 को अगर मैंने HNO3 के साथ हीट करता, ये डिहाइड्रेटिंग एजेंट है, तो HNO3 को डिहाइड्रेट कर देगा। तो बच्चों अगर HNO3 को डिहाइड्रेट करेगा तो N2O5 उसका एनहाइड्राइड बनेगा और ये खुद भी हाइड्रोलाइज हो जाएगा, तो N2O5 प्लस HPO3। अब यहां पे चेक करते हैं Z along with एनहाइड्राइड, तो ऑक्सो एसिड Z along with, तो ये आपका Z हो गया और दैट इज एनहाइड्राइड W, ओके। तो लेट्स, दिस इज सिंपल रिएक्शन एंड डायरेक्ट रिएक्शन, ठीक है। P4O10 में कितने POP बॉन्ड्स होते हैं, ठीक है, क्या हाइब्रिडाइजेशन होता है, कितने बैक बॉन्डिंग में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, तो कई सारी पॉसिबिलिटी P4O10 के साथ होती है। और डिहाइड्रेटिंग एजेंट भी है बहुत पावरफुल। याद करो कि इवन अमाइड से साइनाइड फॉर्मेशन कर देता है P4O10, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग डिहाइड्रेटिंग एजेंट, ठीक है। तो HNO3 को डिहाइड्रेट करना तो आसान काम होगा इसके लिए। तो इसलिए द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज 2 ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस कंक्लूजन, ओके। तो तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर. तो आंसर 2 इज करेक्ट वन. ठीक है बच्चों. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज मेजर प्रोडक्ट बाय HCl यूजिंग. तो ये देखो, ये कीटोन की रिएक्शन फिनॉल के साथ है. तो कीटोन को कभी भी हम फिनॉल में डालेंगे और मीडियम एसिड है आपका, तो यहाँ से एक कार्बोकेटाइन फॉर्म कर सकते हो. ऑक्सोनियम आयन फॉर्मेशन के बाद उसको इलेक्ट्रोफाइल बना सकते हो. बल्कि इलेक्ट्रोफाइल है तो पैरा पे अटैक करेगा. ठीक है, तो इसको थोड़ा सा हम यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट पेज पे सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. देखो, ठीक है, थोड़ा ऑर्गेनिक का बड़ा स्ट्रक्चर है. तो देखो, आपके पास जो आपका H+ था, देखो H+ के साथ आप कुछ ऐसे स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. देखो, तो सबसे पहले एसिड बेस रिएक्शन बच्चों, ये लोन पेयर इस H+ पे अटैक करेगा, और ये H+ पे अटैक करने के बाद आपको यू विल रियलाइज कि ये कुछ ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल दिखाई देगा. देखो, आपको ये कार्बोकेटाइन फॉर्म कर सकता है, जो एक दूसरे में ये इंटर कन्वर्ट होते रहेंगे लगातार. ठीक है, अब दिस मॉलिक्यूल विल बी, अब ES रिएक्शन के लिए एक अच्छा टूल हो गया. देखो, अब स्टेरिकली हिंडर्ड क्राउड है, तो स्टेरिक एंट्रेंस होने के कारण, ठीक है बच्चों, तो दिस विल अटैक ऑन दिस कार्बोकेटाइन. तो फिर एरोमेटाइज कर दोगे एंड वापस ले आओगे, तो ये स्टेप में आपका यहां तक आ गया. देखो, तो ये आपका OH यहाँ बन. अगेन आपने H+ डाला, तो अब तो और स्टेबल कार्बोकेटाइन फॉर्म हो गया. देखो, फिर -H2O लॉस करा के, तो अगले मॉलिक्यूल पर ये ES रिएक्शन कर देगा. देखो, तो ये कार्बोकेटाइन बन गया, एंड दिस कार्बोकेटाइन फर्दर रिएक्ट विद फिनॉल. तो मैं आपको शॉर्ट तरीके से बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है, ताकि आप इस बात को समझ जाओ. मेन पर्पज ये है कि आपको थीम समझ में आनी चाहिए क्वेश्चन की. तो फिर इस पर ES अटैक होगा. देखो, और ES अटैक होने से फिर एरोमेटिक होगा, एरोमेटाइजेशन. तो ये CH3, ये आपके दो फिनॉल पैरा के थ्रू कपल हो गए. देखो, सेम रिएक्शन एसीटोन के साथ हम लोग पढ़ाते थे. तो एसीटोन के साथ ये मॉलिक्यूल बहुत फेमस कंपाउंड है आपका. ठीक है बच्चों, तो इस तरह से आप 2 टाइम ES कर सकते हो. तो दैट इज इलेक्ट्रोफिलिक एरोमेटिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन. स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस के कारण पैरा पर आपका अटैक हुआ. ठीक है, तो लेट वी चेक द ऑप्शन फॉर दिस. तो आई थिंक 4 शुड बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. चेक कर सकते हो इसको. देखो, 4 करेक्ट आना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमने ये प्रोसेस फॉलो कर लिया. तो नेक्स्ट सेकेंड स्टेप और फास्टर हो गया. देखो, बेटर कार्बोकेटाइन फॉर्म हो गया सेकेंड स्टेप में आपको. राइट, ओके. तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर. यस, 4 इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन. ठीक है बच्चों, ओके. तो नेक्स्ट वन, गैस प्रोड्यूस बाय द रिएक्शन ऑफ सोडियम नाइट्रेट विद सोडियम मेटल एट 600 केल्विन. तो देखो, NaNO3 की ये रिएक्शन आपको याद होनी चाहिए बच्चों. तो ये रिएक्शन कर रहा है सोडियम मेटल से, तो दैट विल फॉर्म Na2O प्लस नाइट्रोजन गैस बनाने का मेथड. दैट इज मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन ऑफ N2 गैस. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, अब कैल्शियम कार्बाइड के साथ अगर इसको रिएक्ट कर दे, देखो हम N2, तो ये बनाएगा आपका CaCN2 प्लस कार्बन. तो ये नाइट्रोलिम है. देखो आपका, तो CaCN2 में याद करना, इसका स्ट्रक्चर डिफरेंट है. देखो, तो ये साइनाइड से कंफ्यूज मत हो जाना. ये प्रिंटिंग एरर कई बार हो जाती है, कोई CN2 को कैल्शियम साइनाइड बोल देता है. तो ये आपका नाइट्रोलिम इज द कॉमन नेम जो फर्टिलाइजर में यूज होता है. देखो आपका, ठीक है. तो हाई टेम्परेचर पे दिस रिएक्शन गोस, और हेंस कार्बन, इसमें कार्बन ब्लैक प्रोड्यूस हो जाता है. तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रिएक्शन फॉर फर्टिलाइजर्स ऑल्सो. तो अब इसके हाइड्रोलिसिस से हम अमोनिया, यूरिया प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. देख लो, इसके अमोनिया प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं फर्टिलाइजर के लिए. ठीक है, तो NPK फर्टिलाइजर में नाइट्रोजन कंटेनिंग बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट कंपाउंड था. ठीक है बच्चों, तो इसको आगे देख लेते हैं. आंसर 2 इज करेक्ट. ठीक है, 46 SF3 XeO2 ICl Xe. तो फिर अगेन सेम क्वेश्चन, बट यू हैव टू गेट दिस वन कि sp3d कौन होगा इसमें से. तो sp3 सब में लोन पेयर बॉन्ड पेयर हम चेक कर सकते हैं. तो sp3d एक तो ये दिखाई दे रहा, देखो, एक XeO2 F2 दिखाई दे रहा आपको, ये आपके ऑक्टाइडल, ये पिरामिडल, और ये फाइनली आपको SF4 दिखाई दे रहा. देखो, ठीक है बच्चों. तो यानी इन सब में अगर हम सबका अलग अलग निकाल लें तो मैक्सिमम sp3d2 काफी दिखाई दे रहे हैं इसमें. देखो, sp3 दिखाई दे रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो फाइनली sp3d में वी हैव ओनली 3 पॉसिबिलिटी इन दिस केस. यू कैन क्रॉस चेक दैम. And let's check the answer of this question. I think it should be 3, yes. Okay, next question is 4.9 मिलीग्राम. तो बच्चों यहाँ पर याद रखना मिलीग्राम है, ग्राम नहीं है. 10 to the power -3 से आंसर चेंज हो जाएगा आपका. तो सबसे पहले हम लोग क्या किया, ऑल आर एसिड. तो फर्स्ट वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट ऑल आर एसिड. तो वी आर टेकन इन द वॉल्यूम. देखो यहाँ पर जो फ्लास्क का वॉल्यूम है V ml में. तो बच्चों जब भी हम कोई भी मोल कॉन्सेप्ट एंड स्टोशियो का कॉन्सेप्ट अप्लाई करते हैं, वी हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट देयर मस्ट बी अ नो एरर इन यूनिट कन्वर्जन. पूरा क्वेश्चन इस पर बेस्ड होगा बिकॉज इट इज सम न्यूमेरिकल टाइप क्वेश्चन. तो आपका आंसर रेंज बहुत चेंज हो जाएगा. ठीक है बच्चों, तो हम सीधे सीधे H प्लस के मोल निकाल लेते हैं सबसे पहले. तो H2SO4 से डबल मोल आ जाएंगे. तो मैं इसको लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे, दैट इज 9.8 अपॉन 98 और प्लस 3.15 अपॉन इसका 63 मोलर मास होता है, दैट इज 3.65. HCl से आ गया 36.5 और इनटू 10 टू द पावर -3 बिकॉज ग्राम में कन्वर्ट कर लिया. तो मैं डायरेक्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन निकाल देता हूं. तो दैट इज मोल. और अब मैं इसको वॉल्यूम में कन्वर्ट कर देता हूं. देखो तो बच्चों यहां से हम V सॉल्व कर लेंगे. ठीक है, तो आफ्टर सॉल्विंग दिस V, तो pH इज इक्वल टू माइनस लॉग ऑफ H प्लस. तो H प्लस हमें पता चल गया दैट इज 10 टू द पावर -4.3. तो इसका एंटी लॉग ले लेंगे हम लोग. तो यहां पर हमारे पास H प्लस का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन आ गया 5 × 10⁻⁵. देखो बच्चों कैलकुलेशन भी आपको गिवन थी यहाँ पे, एंटी लॉग ऑलरेडी गिवन था ताकि आप इसको सिंपल कर लो. तो बस पुटिंग दिस वैल्यू ऑफ H प्लस इन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड एंड बाय गेटिंग दिस वैल्यू ऑफ V. लेकिन मेक श्योर दैट V को हमें 100 से बाद में डिवाइड करना होगा. तो इस V को जब हम सॉल्व करेंगे डिवाइड बाय 100, तो ये आपका अराउंड 50 के आसपास कुछ आ जाएगा आपका. देखो सॉल्व करके इसको सॉल्व करोगे सब लोग तो यू विल गेट द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. तो इसमें आपको 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करना नहीं भूलना था, 10 टू द पावर -3 से. फिर आपको वॉल्यूम ml में दिया तो आपने मोलरिटी निकाल दी, दैट इज मोल पर लीटर. एंटी लॉग से H प्लस निकाल दिया. बाई पुटिंग दिस वैल्यू, कैलकुलेटिंग V एंड सॉल्विंग V by 100, तो यू विल गेट योर आंसर इन दिस केस. ठीक है, तो नाउ आंसर विल बी 50 फॉर दिस. चेक, लेट मी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस. इट इज कमिंग नियर बाई 50. ठीक है, तो ये सब सॉल्व कर लोगे इसको. वेरी सिंपल, डायरेक्ट मोल कॉन्सेप्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. एंड नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज 200 डिग्री सेल्सियस द गैसियस रिएक्शन A gas gives 2B found to be this. तो यानी सिंपली दिस इज अ बेस्ड ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, राइट. तो हमारे पास ये गैस आपका A गैस गिव्स 2B गैस प्लस C गैस. तो स्टेट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है वरना प्रेशर. लेट से T = 0 पे हमने इसका प्रेशर P0 मान लिया. तो यहाँ पर कोई भी प्रेशर डेवलप नहीं हुआ. देखो तो T = 5 मिनट पे हमारे पास कोई इक्वेशन होगी. तो लेट से यहाँ से P1 चला गया, दैट इज 2P1 एंड दिस इज P1. और जब आपका टाइम ऑफ कंप्लीशन आपको दे रखा, देखो 240, टाइम ऑफ कंप्लीशन मतलब T100% अप्रॉक्सीमेटली. तो दिस इज 0, दिस इज 2P0 एंड दिस इज P0. अब नाउ एट द टाइम ऑफ कंप्लीशन बच्चों आपको दे रखा है कि 250 मिलीमीटर ऑफ Hg. तो टाइम ऑफ कंप्लीशन कौन सा था बच्चों यहाँ पे, 3P0 को हमने सॉल्व कर लिया, दैट इज 240. तो P0 की वैल्यू हमने 80 निकाल ली. देख लो, क्योंकि दैट इज मिलीमीटर ऑफ Hg आपको गिवन है बच्चों, तो आपने P0 की वैल्यू सॉल्व कर ली. लेकिन क्वेश्चन में ये नहीं पूछा कि व्हाट इज द P0, दे आस्क्ड द वैल्यू ऑफ Ys. तो Y क्या था इसमें बताओ. The end of 5 minutes, the total pressure of system is इतना. After this minute, the partial pressure of A gas at the end of 5 minutes is Y. तो यानी that is P0 minus P1. तो एक इक्वेशन हम यहाँ से बना लेंगे, P0 minus P1 plus 2P1 plus P1 that is equal to, देखो आपको यहाँ पर दे रखा 128. तो यहाँ से आपने P0 minus 2P1 is equal to 128. ठीक है बच्चों, तो आपने यहां से 2P1 की वैल्यू निकाल ली. देखो तो 80. तो इससे हम सॉल्व कर लेंगे यहाँ पे. ठीक है, तो बाय सॉल्विंग दिस योर आंसर विल बी P0 माइनस P1. तो वहां से P1 सॉल्व कर लोगे, यहां से P1 माइनस P0 सॉल्व कर लो. तो दिस आंसर विल बी Y. ठीक है बच्चों, तो यहां से P1 सॉल्व करो एंड P0 इज ऑलरेडी गिवन टू यू. तो डायरेक्टली ये वैल्यू हम यहाँ पुट कर सकते हैं. तो इसको यहाँ पे साइन थोड़ा प्लस ले लेना है ना. तो मैं वैल्यू रख दूं, नहीं तो देख लो मैं रख देता हूँ. तो 128 माइनस 80, तो ये आपका 48. तो P1 हमारा आ गया 24. तो P1 अगर 24 आ गया तो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ y, दैट इज 80 माइनस 24, तो इट विल कम नियर बाई 56 मिलीमीटर ऑफ एच। ठीक है बच्चों, लो तुम्हारे लिए मैंने सॉल्व भी कर दिया इसको। ठीक है, ऑल्दो इट्स द सिंपल क्वेश्चन, डायरेक्टली यू कैन सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, लेट मी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। तो आई थिंक 56 इज द करेक्ट आंसर। ठीक है बच्चों, नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द कंपाउंड विद मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला C4H10। तो बच्चों इसका मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला C4H10 है, तो सबसे पहले इसका DU चेक कर लो, सबसे आसान होता है आइसोमर। देखो DU इसका 0 आ गया, ISD नंबर, तो इट मीन्स इट इज अ ओपन चेन कंपाउंड, और एक ऑक्सीजन है तो इट विल आइदर ईथर और आइदर अल्कोहल। देखो जस्ट गैदरिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम अ मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला, राइट। तो लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन फर्दर। तो नंबर ऑफ आइसोमर ऑफ कंपाउंड X गिविंग पॉजिटिव आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट, यानी हमें 2 डिग्री अल्कोहल पकड़ने पड़ेंगे इसमें, जिनमें मिथाइल कीटो बन जाए। नंबर ऑफ आइसोमर ऑफ द कंपाउंड, तो एक काम करते हैं, इसके टोटल आइसोमर जनरेट कर लेते हैं। देखो तो अल्कोहल में हम एक ये वाला अल्कोहल जनरेट कर सकते हैं, एक ये वाला अल्कोहल जनरेट कर सकते हैं, एक ये वाला अल्कोहल जनरेट कर सकते हैं, राइट। 3-4 अल्कोहल हम बना सकते हैं, राइट। एंड इन केस ऑफ दिस ईथर वी कैन प्रिपेयर लाइक दिस, इसको हम ऐसे प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं और इसको हम ऐसे प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं, राइट स्टूडेंट। तो बाई C4H10O हैज 7 स्ट्रक्चर, तो हमारे पास 7 से ज़्यादा स्ट्रक्चर इसके बनने वाले नहीं है। ठीक है, तो अगर 7 नहीं बनने हैं तो देखो आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट कौन कौन देगा, ए हम बोल रहे हैं, एक्सक्लूडिंग स्टीरियो आइसोमर, तो ये आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट देगा बिकॉज मिथाइल कीटोन फॉर्म करेगा, तो A = 1 हो गया। देखो एंड नंबर ऑफ आइसोमर कंपाउंड डू नॉट रिएक्ट विद हाइड्रोजन गैस। बच्चों ईथर की कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी है, दे विल नॉट रिएक्ट विद हाइड्रोजन सोडियम मेटल टू गिव हाइड्रोजन, तो ये अल्कोहल की प्रॉपर्टी है। तो ईथर आपके 3 हो गए, तो दिस इज B = 3, तो B हमारे पास 3 आ गया, 3 ईथर्स हो गए हमारे पास। ठीक है, एंड नंबर ऑफ आइसोमर कंपाउंड गिव रेड कलर इन विक्टरमेयर टेस्ट। तो बच्चों जब हम विक्टरमेयर टेस्ट करते थे तो RBC बच्चों को याद कराते थे हम, रेड ब्लड कॉपल्स बोलते थे ना हम लोग, तो हम कहते थे प्राइमरी अल्कोहल रेड कलर देगा, राइट, और सेकेंडरी अल्कोहल ब्लू कलर देगा, एंड टर्शियरी अल्कोहल विल गिव कलरलेस सोल्यूशन। तो RBC जिसको याद है बच्चों, तो उससे एकदम समझ लिया कि रेड कलर मतलब सर प्राइमरी अल्कोहल्स पूछ रहे हैं। तो प्राइमरी अल्कोहल कौन कौन है हमारे पास, ये और ये प्राइमरी अल्कोहल है, इट मीन्स C = 2 हो गया। So now we able to draw the structure and we able to find out the digit ABC. So now question is A plus B plus C. So 1 plus 3 plus 2/2, that is 6/2. तो I hope 3 इसका correct answer हो जाना चाहिए, और होगा ही because that is the direct question. ठीक है बच्चों, तो let me check this question, answer of this question. Yes, 3 is correct. ठीक है, तो इसका स्ट्रक्चर अगर किसी ने नोट नहीं किया हो तो वो कर सकता है क्विकली, फास्ट। डन, ओके। तो दिस क्वेश्चन, तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ दिस JEE मेन पेपर ओपन टेस्ट 4 विच वाज कंडक्टेड ऑन दिस 3rd जनवरी, राइट। तो अब आप अपना एक स्कोर टेंटेटिव भी आइडिया लगा सकते हो कि आपकी मिस्टेक्स क्या पॉसिबल इसमें रही, सो दैट टू अवॉइड फॉर सच मिस्टेक्स इन फ्यूचर एग्जाम्स। तो अनदर क्वेश्चन इज लुकास रिएजेंट विच इज एनहाइड्रस ZnCl2 एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड HCl। तो बच्चों थोड़ा ये याद रखना, लुकास रिएजेंट को क्लियरली थोड़ा मेंशन किया करो, दैट इज एनहाइड्रस ZnCl2 एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड HCl। ऑल्दो यहाँ मतलब सेम है, बट समटाइम्स वो एक्वस लिख देगा तो आपका सवाल गलत हो सकता है। तो ये टेस्ट किसके लिए होता था, तो बेसिकली जिनके कार्बोकेटाइन फॉर्मेशन होते थे, जिनके SN1 रेट फास्टर होते थे। तो हम देखते हैं कि भाई कौन कार्बोकेटाइन अच्छा बना सकता है, तो 3 डिग्री का कार्बोकेटाइन तो बेस्ट बनेगा, SN1 फास्टेस्ट होगा। बेंजाइल 1 डिग्री होके भी आपका देगा लुकास, बिकॉज कार्बोकेटाइन इज वेरी स्टेबल। तो कई 1 डिग्री अल्कोहल हैं, दे फॉर्म स्टेबल कार्बोकेटाइन, दे गिव लुकास टेस्ट। तो इसलिए रटना भी नहीं है कि ओनली 3 डिग्री लुकास देगा, आपको ये भी क्रॉस चेक करना है कि कार्बोकेटाइन की स्टेबिलिटी इज द मेन ड्राइविंग फोर्स। SN1 मैकेनिज्म कहाँ हाईएस्ट फीजिबल होगी, प्रोटिक मीडियम आपके पास HCl रखा हुआ है आपका यहाँ पे, ठीक है। तो इसलिए दिस इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट आंसर। ये एंटी एरोमेटिक हो जाएगा कार्बोकेटाइन, इसलिए ये फॉर्म नहीं कर सकता। ये एरोमेटिक हो जाएगा, इसलिए बहुत ईजिली फॉर्म करेगा, फास्टेस्ट देगा 4th वाला आपका। एंड मिथेनॉल दे नहीं सकता, दैट इज प्राइमरी अल्कोहल। और ये स्पेशल कार्बोकेटाइन जिसमें +4 इज इन डांसिंग रेजोनेंस, राइट। तो उस तरह के कॉन्सेप्ट को आप यूज कर सकते हो। तो इसमें से आई होप इन 2 को क्रॉस कर दो तो आपके लिए 4 आंसर करेक्ट होगा। बट मेक श्योर दैट स्टूडेंट इसमें गलती यही करेगा कि वो 1-4 को मे भी आंसर दे सकता है, 3rd वाले को नहीं देगा, बिकॉज 3rd एंटी एरोमेटिक। तो आपको याद रखना, जैसे ये कार्बोकेटाइन बनाया तो ये एंटी एरोमेटिक कार्बोकेटाइन नहीं फॉर्म करना, देख लो आपको, तो ये नहीं बनाओगे आप, ठीक है। तो आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन शुड बी 4, ठीक है बच्चों। तो लेट वी चेक द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। नाउ इट्स 4, correct? Okay, so that is the end of the chemistry part, right? So now for the further session, next session, I am inviting physics faculty, Natasha Bhatt ma'am, to take over this particular test analysis session. So I hope all Invictus family will be doing very good in this coming examination. Ma'am, please come.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very nice, and paper was a bit tricky,
Okay.
but easier side, I would say.
आपको क्या लगता है इसमें कैसा स्कोर would be a good score?
इसका स्कोर जो होना चाहिए that is 80% स्कोर मैं इसमें डिसेंट कहूँगा, and at least
Okay.
60% शुड, अगर एक स्टूडेंट ने 60% गया तो ही हैज अ ब्राइट चांस टू परफॉर्म वेल इन दिस,
Alright.
राइट? ओके मैम, थैंक यू ऑल द ओके बच्चों।
Hello everyone, I'm Natasha Pant. I will be taking up the physics section of Open Test 4 mains. Okay, so let's get started with the questions. All right. See, as you all are aware of the pattern of the paper, we'll start with the question directly. So the first question is, we have to find out the dimension of A by B. This is the equation given to us. Okay, so if we look at the numerator here, so its dimension must be t square, because t is representing time, okay, x is representing the distance. Now since these are being added together, so the dimension of A is definitely going to be equal to t square, because we add or subtract similar physical quantities. Now this is, P is pressure, so pressure is force upon area. Alright, so dimensions of pressure can be written as, this is m, L to the power minus 1, T to the power minus 2, right? Dimension of force divided by the dimension of area. Alright, now with the help of this equation, we can find out the dimension of 1 by B, because we ultimately have to find out the value of the dimension of A by B. Okay, so this actually turns out to be, see, I'm just placing the dimensions in this equation only. So this is 1 by B, this is T square for the numerator upon dimension of x, that is L. Now dimension of pressure is going to be m, L to the power minus 1, T to the power minus 2. Alright, this is what we are getting. So this gives us a dimension of 1 by B as, you can see, this is turning out to be m, T to the power minus 4. Now we are supposed to find out the dimension of A by B, so we can just divide these dimensions, or we can just multiply these dimensions basically. So this turns out to be T to the power 2 and m to the power T minus 4. Alright, so the dimension of the first question, basically A by B, is turning out to be m T to the power minus 2. Alright, let's check the answer. So this is the answer for the first part. Now the second question, velocity of stone projected, okay, 2 seconds before it reaches the maximum height. Alright, so basically when this is, we have to find out the velocity when it basically when it is at the highest position. Alright, so when it is at the highest position, its velocity will be, suppose, Vx. Alright, now 2 seconds before it reaches the maximum height, its velocity vector is making an angle 53 degrees with the horizontal, as it mentions in the question here. So this time interval from position 1 to position 2, okay, we can see the time interval is 2 seconds. So by applying the first equation of motion, we can get the velocity at this moment as 20 meter per second, because final velocity along y-axis is turning out to be 0. So v equal to u plus at can be applied to get the value of vy. Alright, now see, if I look at this triangle over here, if I just extend this part, so I can write the horizontal component. ये जो horizontal component है, ये बिल्कुल change नहीं करेगा, because there is no acceleration along x-axis. So I can write the vertical component, that is 20 meter per second, upon the horizontal component vx is going to give you tan 53. Alright, so tan 53, we already know the value, 4 by 3. So this gives you the value of Vx as 15 meter per second. Alright, so that means for the question 2, the answer is going to be 15 meter per second. Fine. Now the next question. It says that the two blocks A and B, all right, these are given to us. Fine. The coefficient of friction between A and B is 0.8. That means between these two, the limiting value of friction can be written as 24 newtons. And between A and ground, it is given as 0.1. So the limiting value of friction over here turns out to be 9 newtons. All right. Now we have to find out the maximum horizontal force that can, okay. So they are not supposed to separate from each other. A and B are supposed to move together. Okay. So uske liye, we can see the 6 kg is the deciding factor. Okay. Why the 6 kg is the deciding factor? Uska reason kya hoga? Because we can see B ka to acceleration kuch bhi ho sakta hai because the external force is directly acting on it. Right. But the force which is responsible for the movement of 6 kg is only friction. The maximum value of limiting, basically the static friction, is 24 newtons, and yahan pe there will be 9 newton, which is the opposing force given by the ground. All right. So we can see the acceleration of 6 kg using this can be calculated as 24 minus 9 divided by 6, which turns out to be 2.5 meter per second square, right? So this is the maximum acceleration attained by 6 kg due to all the factors which are involved over here, all right? Now, agar hum B ko dekhenge, to B must also move with the same acceleration because they are not supposed to separate from each other, okay? So that means agar B, just a minute, if B is acting, yes, if B is also accelerating with the same acceleration, so we can write, okay, so the acceleration of B is going to be 2.5 meter per second square. So then we can find out the maximum force because after this force, this A and B are going to separate from each other. All right. So that means therefore, we get the result as F minus 24 is equal to mass of B into acceleration of B. So this is F net is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is the force which is going to be acted upon on B so that it moves without separating from A. All right, so this is the answer. Let's check the answer for this question. That is 31.5 newtons. All right. Now, next is a block of mass M is being pulled horizontally by a constant power. Okay, that means there will be some external force F acting on the system. This is the horizontal surface. Okay, there is the friction between them. So that means the frictional force acting on it will be mu times of M into G, right? We have to find out the maximum velocity of the block. So see, velocity is maximum when V is maximum when the acceleration is going to be 0, okay? So when acceleration is going to be 0, so this implies F is going to balance mu mg. Now the power is given to us. Power is constant. So at any moment, at this moment when it is moving with the maximum velocity, I can write the power of this external force is going to be F times V max. So which gives you the value of V max as power is already known to us, force is already known to us. So this is mu mg. All right, so P divided by mu mg will be the answer for this question, okay? So the answer turns out to be the fourth option, all right? Now the fifth one, it says that, okay, I can see from a square, 1 part, 1/4, that means m by 4 mass has been removed and it has been placed over here, all right? So if I consider O as origin, 0, 0, all right, then the mass of the complete square, this is the mass of the complete square, I'm considering its mass to be m, all right, and its position of center of mass to be at O because definitely O is the center over here. So the removed part will have a mass, this is the removed part, so this will have a mass m by 4 and its position of center of mass x1 along x-axis will be at 2/3 of the height of this triangular part. So since this is origin, so on the back side, so this is going to be negative of 2/3 of L by 2. All right, because we can see that this length is going to be L by 2 because the square has a side of length L. All right, so this is what we get. Now the part which has been added, it is at a distance, this is L by 2 plus 1/3 the center of mass for this triangular part, okay, the part which has been added, part which is added. All right, so for this, the center of mass is going to be at a position L by 2 plus 1/3 of L by 2. All right, so this is what we can actually, basically these are the coordinates over here. So now I can see, since x-axis is the axis of symmetry, so the shift is going to happen only along x-axis. So this is going to give you m1 x1 minus m2, that is m by 4, minus because it has been removed. So this is going to be minus 2 by 3 times of L by 2 plus m by 4 times of, this is going to be L by 2 plus L by 6. Right, so we can actually, and in the denominator we are going to get the total value as m. So when we solve this, we'll get the value of x as L by 4. Okay, we just have to place the values and do the calculations over here. So we are going to get the value as L by 4. All right, so this is the answer to question number 5. Now, a rod is hinged at the center. All right, so there is a rod which is hinged at its center, okay, by applying a constant torque. Okay, so that means if I apply a torque which is responsible for the rotation in clockwise sense, suppose, okay, and it was initially at rest, that means this torque is responsible for providing omega as well, okay, because it was not moving initially. Now power developed by the external torque as a function of time. So power, as we are all aware of it, it is tau dot omega. Now since this torque is constant, so that means angular acceleration will be constant. So therefore we can write omega can be written as initial omega plus alpha times t. So therefore the power turns out to be, this is going to be tau into alpha t. So you can see P is directly proportional to time here. Okay, so P is directly proportional to time, will be a straight line. All right, passing through origin. So this is the answer for the second part. Third, a point charge Q, okay, its mass is given as m. All right, its height is mentioned. There is this charged ring of charge Q, okay, and we have to find out, all right, we just have to find out the value of small q so that it just reaches the center. So see, it is just dropped from this position, so its initial velocity will be 0. When it reaches this position, it is just able to reach, that means its final velocity is also 0. All right, so we can apply work energy theorem or conservation of mechanical energy over here, conservation of total energy of the system. Okay, so this turns out to be work done by gravity plus work done by electrostatic force is equal to change in kinetic energy, which is equal to 0. So work done by gravity is equal to negative of work done by the electrostatic force, which turns out to be the change in potential energy due to the charge distributions. So this can be written as mg into 4r by 3. Now work done by electrostatic force, at this position the potential energy is U final, at this position the potential energy is U initial. So we can write the potentials and then find out the potential energy. So this is going to be K into capital Q small q. I'm writing the final value over here. So this is because negative of work done by electric field will be the change in potential energy, final minus initial. So this is going to be root of, okay, at the center. So this is just going to be R. All right. Then this will be minus of K into capital Q small q divided by root of R square plus 4R by 3 whole square. Okay. Now mg is given to us as q square upon kq square by R square. So this turns out to be, I'm writing in terms of K only. So kq square upon R square multiplied by 4R by 3 is equal to kq by R, which is equal to minus of 3k capital Q small q divided by 5r. Alright, so when we solve this, you can see we are getting 2 here and there will be a 4. So 2 over here and 5. So this is going to give you the value as 10q by 3 if we solve this. Okay, so the answer to the 7th question is 10q by 3. Alright. Now the next question, question 6. There are 6 resistors which are connected to the battery as shown. Alright. We have to find out the ratio of current in branch CD. So if I'm assuming the current in this manner, this is I1. Okay, so this is I1 suppose. Alright, and the current I'm assuming in this branch, this is I2. I'm supposed to find out the value of I1 upon I2. Okay, so let's understand this circuit first. So see, when this is connected, this point, this point, this point, they're all connected by a conducting wire, so they will be at the same potential, V1 each. Now, I can assume the potential at this position as V2. So see, B and C are also connected with the same conducting wire. So potential is going to be V2 for all the positions. So if you look at any of these resistors, like here, the potential difference is V1 minus V2. Potential difference is V1 minus V2, and similarly all the resistors are at the potential difference. This basically starting from A to E, all the resistors here in this branch are having potential difference V1 minus V2. So this is going to give you a parallel combination of all the resistors, right? So we can see these two are going to give you a parallel value of 16 ohms. Now this 16 is in parallel combination with other 16. So this is also going to give you a combination, an effective value of 8. Now this 8 and this 8 are in parallel combination. All these are in parallel combination. 8 and 8 will give you 4 ohms. Now this 4 and the other 4 is going to give you a value of 2 ohms. So see, we can actually reduce this circuit as 3 ohms. Now there is, we can draw it like this. This is 2 ohms. This is 3 ohms and this is 40 volts. So we can see that effective resistance is turning out to be 5 ohms. Alright. So the current given by the battery, I2, can be written as 40 divided by 5, which is going to be 8 amperes. This is the current given by the battery. Alright. Now, see, when I talk about this FA branch, so see, FA branch is this. This was at potential V1, this is what I had assumed. And the other one, this is F, this is A, this is at potential V2. So 3 ohms here, 40 volts over here. Now we have to find out the current in this branch CD. So I'm just drawing that branch, CD, which is carrying I1 current, resistance is 32 ohms. Okay, so this is C, this is D. So the potential difference over here and potential difference across this branch is going to be same. Okay, so I can write over here the potential difference, since we already know the value of current, 8 amperes. So this is 24 volts, this is 40 volts. So I can write the potential difference across CD branch is going to be 40 minus 24, that is 16 volts. Alright, so I1 can be calculated now. So I1 is going to be potential difference upon the resistance. So this is going to be 1 by 2 ampere. Alright, now we have to find out the ratio. So the ratio is going to be, so the final result can be calculated by I1 by I2, that is 1 by 2 upon 8. 1 by 16 is the ratio. Okay. So the answer turns out to be 1 by 16. Okay. Now, question number 9. The left plate of the capacitor, fine, this plate, so I'll draw the plate separately here. This is the right plate of the capacitor. It is carrying a charge plus Q. So that means if plus Q is given to the plate, so it is going to get distributed equally on both the sides. Now the right plate will have a charge minus Q by 2 on the inner surface, and outer surface will have a charge plus Q by 2 because it's a net neutral plate. Okay, so this is the initial arrangement. Now it says that at t equal to 0, we are closing the switch. Okay, So after closing the switch, the charges on the inner plates are going to get affected. Okay, so that means at t equal to 0, after closing the switch, we can actually get, this is what the arrangement is, this is E. So the inner plate, see, this is going to have CE charge, and the outer inner plate of the capacitor, right plate, is actually having minus CE. Fine. So there was already plus Q by 2 on the outermost surfaces over here. So the inner plates are getting the charge. So finally we have to find out the net charge on the right plate. So the net charge on the right plate is going to be minus CE plus Q by 2. Alright, so Q by 2 minus CE is going to be the answer for this question. Okay? Let's check the answer. Yes. Now, question number 10. Alright, so it says that the diameter is changing with x, fine, and the thermal conductivity of the material. So see, there is a rod whose diameter is d naught at x equal to 0. That means this point is having, this region is having a diameter d naught. Now when you move away from it, I'm considering this distance as x because it says that x has been taken from one of its ends. So this is the value of x. So the diameter is increasing. So it's like this kind of a shape, a frustum kind of a shape over here. Now at this position, if I select a disk kind of an element whose thickness is going to be dx, thickness I'm assuming this to be dx over here, okay, and the diameter at this position can be written as the value which is given to you, that is d. Okay, now for this arrangement, conductivity is given to us, we have to find out the resistance. Okay, so see, for this arrangement I can write dr, the resistance of the element, can be written as 1 upon conductivity. Okay, in the numerator we'll be having the length, so that means the heat is going to flow along this length dx. So this is going to be dx divided by area of cross section which the heat is actually cutting. Okay, so this cross sectional area is going to be pi d naught square by 4, all right, multiplied by 1 plus ax whole square. So this is how we write the resistance of this elemental part, elemental disk that we have taken. Now we'll have to integrate it from x equal to 0 to x equal to total length of the rod, that is L. So the resistance is turning out to be 4 upon k pi d naught square. This is what we are getting. Now on integration, it's a simple integration. It is 1 plus ax whole square from 0 to L. Okay, so we can actually write this as 4 upon k pi d naught square into a. Now this is going to give you 1 upon 1 plus ax. Okay, limits from 0 to L. All right. So when we place this value, we'll get the result as you can see. There will be, once we place the limits over here, there will be a 4 in the numerator, it remains same. So the answer should be 2. This is the answer to this question. All right. Now the next question, question 11. See, there is a man of mass 60 kg standing on a platform. Okay, so see, the equation for SHM is given to you. So there is this platform which is performing SHM. Suppose in this manner, all right. So we have to find out, all right, so we have to find out the minimum value of frequency so that the weightlessness is felt at the highest point. So देखो highest point में the person who's standing here will be experiencing, I can write, the person who's standing here, I'll draw the FBD of the person separately, but if I talk about the platform, so platform will have the acceleration which is going to be maximum, which is going to be omega square into a, the amplitude, all right, that too in the downward direction, fine. So now for the man, if that person is feeling weightlessness, that means normal reaction is going to be 0 at this moment. Okay, so I can write, and this is supposed to accelerate with an acceleration a, all right, so I can write mg is equal to m into acceleration of the platform on which it is, the person is standing. So that means we can write this as g by a. A is given as 0.5, and omega square, m is getting cancelled. So this is turning out to be 4 pi square, which is equal to frequency square, right? So we can find out the value because normal reaction is equal to 0 at the highest point, okay? So the answer seems to be the option 3, okay? So the answer to this question is option number 3. Right, so now the next question. Equation of a transverse wave is given to us in this manner, all right? By looking at this equation, we can see it's a progressive or a traveling wave. The ratio of maximum particle velocity, okay? So it's a nice, simple question basically. Maximum particle velocity, each and every particle of this medium is performing, or basically each and every particle will be moving in SHM, a simple harmonic motion. So the maximum velocity in simple harmonic motion is a into omega, where the amplitude is given as a. Omega is 2 pi. This is the value of omega given to us. Now, velocity of wave. Velocity of wave in a traveling wave can be written as coefficient of t upon coefficient of x. That is 2 pi divided by 2 pi by 5, which turns out to be 5. All right, so we can see the ratio is turning out to be this. 2 pi a divided by 5 is going to be the answer for this question, the ratio. All right, next, let's check the answer. Yeah, it's the option 2. Fine. Now question number 13, sorry. A large tank filled with water up to a height is to be emptied. All right, let's first find out the relation between time of emptying the tank, because we have been given different levels and we have to compare the times over here. So now, like if I consider this is y, the level which has just decreased is dy. All right, so the area of cross section of this region is a1, area of cross section of this region is a2. So the velocity with which the liquid will be flowing out is going to be root 2 gy. So I can write in this equation, I can write a1 into minus dy by dt. I'm applying equation of continuity, which is going to be a2 into root 2 gy. All right. So with the help of this, we'll get in basically we are getting an equation which is minus a1 by a2. All right. This is dy divided by root 2 gy is going to be dt. Now at t equal to 0, the height was equal to capital H. At t equal to t, the height I'm assuming is suppose y. I'm leaving basically in the form of y only because we have different heights given over here. So see, in this case, we actually get the time as a1 by a2. This turns out to be root of 2 times of h by g minus root of 2 times of y by g. This is what we get. All right, now we can find out the relation between the time intervals. Okay, so we have to find out when the fall is from h to h by 2 and h by 2 से 0 तक. तो t1 हम ले लेते हैं h से h by 2 तक. तो I'll just place the value. See, ये a1 by a2 तो is getting cancelled. So we are getting 2 times of, this is root of 2 times of h upon g minus root of 2 times of, instead of y, h by 2 upon g. Now in the denominator, this is going to be root of 2 times of h by 2 upon g minus 0. Finally 0 तक पहुंचाना है हमें. So this is all the 2h by g's are getting cancelled. We are getting 1 minus 1 by root 2 upon 1 by root 2, which gives you the value as root 2 minus 1. This is the ratio of time of emptying the tank in these two different sections, in these two different levels. All right. So the option 3 is going to be correct for the given question. 13th का answer हो जाएगा 3. Okay. Now question number 14. All right. So this is a compound microscope. Objective. Okay. Focal length FO is given to us. Okay. Eyepiece का focal length given है हमें. FE is given to us. Now the separation between them, that means अगर हमारे पास objective and eyepiece है, तो इनके बीच का separation is given as 10 centimeters. L is given to us. All right. Now distance between an object and the objective lens हमें निकालना है, so that okay, so the strain in the eye is minimum. So strain in the eye means जो final image बनेगी from the eyepiece, that is supposed to be at infinity. अगर image is at infinity, so that means object will be placed at focal length of the eyepiece. This is the eyepiece. Alright. तो अगर यहाँ पे रखा है, so suppose this is the focal length, तो यही UE and यही FE हो जाएगा. So this is going to be at 5 centimeter that is given to us. Okay, so using this information we got an idea कि जो image बनेगी VO उसकी value पता चल गई 10 minus 5. Alright. So VO will have a magnitude of 10 minus 5, that is 5 centimeters. Alright, this is what we get. Now we already know the value of FO. हमें UO निकालना है. तो I can write, we can apply for the objective, we can apply 1 upon F naught is equal to 1 upon V naught minus 1 upon U naught. ठीक है? So V naught is known to us. U naught हमें calculate करना है. So this is 1 upon 1 equal to 1 upon 5 minus 1 upon U naught. Right, so this is giving us 1 upon U naught. Alright, this is turning out to be 1 by 5 minus 1 minus 4 by 5. Alright, so now देखो हमें दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे U का magnitude दिया हुआ है. So U का magnitude is given as n by 40. U naught का magnitude is n by 40 and this is coming out to be, इसका magnitude आ रहा है 5 by 4. ठीक है? So n, you can see it is turning out to be 50 के बराबर. Alright, n is turning out to be 50. So this is the answer for the question number 14. Alright, now let's move on to the next question. Question number 15. So it's a string which consists of two different sections, two distinct sections. एक section ये है length. Alright, तो ये L by 2 length का है. इसका mass density, linear mass density is given for this. The other one is mu2, इसका mass density is mu2 but the length is L by 2 only. So the tension which is created in the strings is F naught. Alright, so T is equal to F naught. We have to find out the pulse which time taken by the pulse to move from one end to the other end. Alright, so see time taken को हम लिख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे जो wave की speed होगी वो v1 ले लेते हैं, यहाँ पे v2 ले लेते हैं. So time can be written as length, distance upon speed plus distance upon speed. It's a simple question, right? Directly distance upon speed के calculation से we'll get the result. L by 2 I'll take common. V1 is turning out to be root of T by mu, but 1 upon V है. तो ये हो जाएगा mu1, which is mu naught by 4 upon F naught. Mu1 by T is equal to 1 upon V plus this is going to be root of 5 mu naught upon F naught. ठीक है, this is what we get. So see, by looking at the options, एक ही term है जहाँ पे root 5 present है. Alright, so you can get the result directly. Otherwise, you can take common. Mu naught by F naught can be taken common over here. Alright, there is already 1, 2 here. यहाँ पे भी 2 जो आएगा वो that can be taken and LCM can be taken. So third option will be the correct answer. Will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. Now, let's check the answer. Yes, third option is the correct answer. अब आते हैं question number 16 पे. So see, it says that the rod of length L is rotating with an angular speed omega. Okay. आपको distance दिया है r. We have to find out the EMF induced at this moment. Okay. So at this moment, you can see, since this is the center of rotation, so from this position, if I take any element, a small elemental part of length dx, so जब ये घूम रहा है, so this elemental part will have a velocity omega into x in the upward direction. Okay. Now see, as we are moving away from the wire over here, so the magnetic field is decreasing. So that is why we will need to integrate over here. So I can write dE, the EMF for that elemental part will be magnetic field into velocity multiplied by length of the elemental part that I have taken over here. Alright. Now B की value हो जाएगी mu naught into I divided by 2 pi इस जगह पे B चाहिए, that is r plus x distance. Due to a long infinitely long wire, we get this as the magnetic field into omega into x into dx. We just have to integrate it to get the result. Integration is from x equal to 0 to x equal to L, क्योंकि हमें इन दोनों points के बीच में we have to find out the EMF induced. Okay. So see, mu naught I omega upon 2 pi तो बाहर आ गया. So we are left with डिनोमिनेटर में भी x है, ऊपर भी है, तो x है. तो अगर हम ऊपर एंड नीचे, इफ वी जस्ट मल्टीप्लाई एंड डिवाइड दिस बाय, सॉरी, इफ वी जस्ट ऐड एंड सब्ट्रैक्ट दिस बाय r, तो इट विल बिकम, बेसिकली द इंटीग्रेशन विल बिकम ईजियर ओवर हियर. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट वी गेट. ये तो 1 दे देगा आपका यहाँ पे कैंसिल होके, ठीक है. सो आफ्टर इंटीग्रेशन वी विल बी गेटिंग म्यू नॉट आई ओमेगा बाय 2 पाई. ओके, so integration of 1 dx is going to give you x minus r ln x, that is r plus x, the value that we are getting over here. So this is from 0 to L. Now if we place the limits here, we'll get 1 L over here. L present here. This term is same for all the terms, all the options. Now पहले upper limit रखेंगे L, then the lower limit. So option 2 seems to be the correct option for this question. ठीक है. So the answer for this question turns out to be option 2. All right. Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 17. Okay. So this question is, okay, so in this question you can see this RC branch is directly connected to the battery. LR branch is also directly connected to the battery, है ना. तो इसका मतलब इन दोनों points और इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के अक्रॉस जो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है, जब आपने स्विच क्लोज किया तो मैक्सिमम पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस जो आएगा वो 10 वोल्ट्स के बराबर ही आ सकता है इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के बीच में. ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल्सो 10 वोल्ट्स. ऑलराइट, नाउ सी दिस बिकम्स ईजियर, क्योंकि ये 10 वोल्ट्स है तो अब हमें आरसी ब्रांच के लिए वी कैन ईजिली फाइंड आउट द चार्ज विच इज फ्लोइंग थ्रू द ब्रांच. And इसके across 10 है तो we can easily find out the current which is flowing in this LR branch. ठीक है. So I'll talk about RC branch first. So for RC branch tau निकाल लेते हैं. Time constant, tau is time constant here, which is R into C, R times of C, which gives you the value 2. ठीक है. Now for this RC branch I can write charge as C multiplied by the maximum value of charge. I'm applying the formula directly for RC branch, charging circuit वाला formula. So maximum potential difference जो इस branch के across आ सकता है, that is 10 into 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau. Tau is 2. ठीक है, ये आ गया value. Next is, देखो हमें क्या निकालना है, we have to find out the value of VA minus VB. ठीक है. So अगर मुझे इस point को, I'm assuming this point to be P, this point as A, I want to find out Vp minus Va. पहला equation is I am interested in finding out Vp minus Va because I am going to calculate this using the charge जो अभी हमने calculate किया, Q by C. So this turns out to be 10 into 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau, t by 2. This is the value that we are getting. Now let's move on to the LR branch. अब देखो LR branch में क्या है, we already know the potential difference across this branch, maximum 10. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे भी we can growth of current वाला जो हमारे पास direct relation आता है to find out the current in that LR branch, we can use that. Okay, so this is going to be I naught को मैं लिख सकती हूँ maximum potential difference across the branch into divided by the resistance. Okay, so this is 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau, tau dash I'll take it. Now tau dash is equal to L upon R. So this is going to be 4 by 2. Okay, so I is turning out to be 10 upon R. I'll take this R to the other side. उसका reason क्या है? I'll tell you. This can be written as upon 2, right? Now why I shifted this to the other side? उसका reason बस यही है because हमें A और B के बीच में potential difference निकालना है. तो ये वाला point अगर VP potential पे है तो ये वाला point भी VP potential पे होगा minus VB. So this I into R is actually the potential difference across this VP and B point, basically P and B point. This can be written as VP minus VB. This is equation number 2, right? So see, Vp minus Vb ये आ रहा है, Vp minus Va ये आ रहा है. I am interested in Va minus Vb, ठीक है? तो I can subtract, therefore, equation 2 minus equation 1. इसको minus करो, subtract करो, you will get the answer as 0. Okay, so this is going to be Va minus Vb, which is turning out to be 0. Right, so the answer to this question 17 is going to be 0. ठीक है? Yes, this is the answer for question number 17. Now let's move on to the next one. 18th one, all right. So it's a modified YDSE, okay. Wavelength of light is given to us. It's a monochromatic light, okay. Intensity is given to us. So the parallel beam is of intensity I1. ठीक है, तो that means इस जगह पे और इस जगह पे जो intensity fall कर रही है वो same है, 10 by pi. ठीक है. Now see, the radii of the apertures are different. ये अगर r के बराबर है, so this is turning out to be twice of r, right? इनका radius अलग अलग है, ठीक है? So I can write इस जगह पे जो power generate होगी उसे P1 ले लेते हैं, इस जगह पे power जो reach कर रही है, power जो यहाँ reach कर रही है, यहाँ reach कर रही है. These are different because the radii are different. Okay, now a perfectly transparent film of thickness, okay, thickness T is given to us. Now lambda is already given to us, okay. Now refractive index mu is given to us, fine. Along with this, what are we supposed to find out? We have to, okay, so see, there is one more thing. It's given only 10% of the power received by each aperture goes in the initial direction and is brought to focus, okay. That means only 10% is meeting at F. राइट तो हमें बताना है जो यहाँ पे P1 डैश एंड P2 डैश वो जब मीट कर रहे हैं तो वी हैव टू see the net power which is actually meeting at F and giving you the resultant power. All right, so see, let's calculate the power first. पहले P1 निकालते हैं. P1 will be intensity multiplied by area. So intensity is, I am applying the formula, power is equal to intensity into area. Okay, now intensity is 10 by pi, area हो जाएगा इस circular aperture का pi into 10 to the power minus 3 whole square. ठीक है, so this is turning out to be 10 times of 10 to the power minus 6 watts. Now जो power receive हो रही है for the second hole B के लिए, that is again intensity multiplied by area, pi into 2 times of 10 to the power minus 3 square. So this is 40 times 10 to the power minus 6. ठीक है, but the intensities which are actually interfering there, जो power है वो value हो जा रही है P1 dash is just the 10% of this. So 10% of 10 to the power, this is 10 into 10 to the power minus 6, so this is turning out to be 10 to the power minus 6 only. Similarly P2 dash की value हमारे पास कितनी आ जाएगी? This is turning out to be 4 into 10 to the power minus 6 watts. ठीक है, क्योंकि only 10% of this is actually 10% of P2. This is what is happening here. Now see, as we know intensity and power are directly proportional to each other. तो हम एक चीज़ ये लिख सकते हैं, the net power at position F, ठीक है, the net power can be written as P1 plus P2 plus 2 times of root P1 P2 cos phi. So we already know this is P1 dash P2 dash P1 dash P2 dash because these are the interfering powers. ठीक है, जो at F मिल रही है. So these are the known values. We just need phi. So phi के लिए we have been given the path difference. Okay, so we can write this as 2 pi by lambda into delta x. ठीक है. Now let's look at how basically let's look at the path difference. Okay, see, if you talk about this region, this basically glass slab that we have put here, यहाँ पे there will be an optical density. ये ज़्यादा length travel करेगा at this position in comparison to the rays which are traveling through point B. ठीक है, इसके अलावा like this distance effectively in air will be mu t and this distance in air was already t के बराबर. So the path difference is mu t minus t. Okay, क्योंकि ये extra length travel कर रहा है because of optical density. Rest everything from the source to point F. अगर हम इसको ignore करें, all the waves are traveling equal distances. Okay, so this actually gives you the path difference as mu t minus t. This is the path difference. We already know mu and t, so we can calculate the value of delta x here. So this is lambda is 6000 angstrom. I'm keeping it in angstrom only. This is going to be mu. Delta x actually was equal to mu minus 1 into t. Alright, so this is mu minus 1 into t is 2000 angstrom. Right, so this gives you a value of phi as pi by 3. Okay. Now we just have to place the values here. So P net is turning out to be, this was 1 micro, that is 10 to the power minus 6. This is 4 micro plus 2 times of, ये हो जाएगा, root में है तो 2 times of 10 to the power minus 6 into 1 upon 2. ठीक है. So here we are getting 4, 5, 6, 7 will be the answer. 7 micro. 7 into 10 to the power minus 6. ठीक है. What were we supposed to find out the value for? हाँ, n. n की value निकालनी थी, so n turns out to be 7. ठीक है. So n का answer हो question 18 will have the answer as 7. Alright, next. A drop of water of volume V is pressed between the two glass plates, so it spreads to an area A. Alright, see what happens here. हमारे पास अगर हम basically if we look at one view over here, so this is actually giving you a drop of water. तो water का जो drop होगा, it will take somewhat this kind of a shape between the two plates. ठीक है. तो अगर हम इसको ऐसे देखें, ठीक है, this is what we have. यहाँ पे pressure कुछ P1 मान लेते हैं. This is pressure P2. ठीक है. Now see, ये जो plates हैं, ये कुछ इस तरह से होंगी. These are the plates which are present in this manner. ठीक है. और इनके बीच में there is a drop of water. ऐसे. The drop of water is like this, which is covering an area. ये वाला जो area दिया है, that is equal to A के बराबर. और पूरा volume is given as V. Alright. So I am considering this length to be suppose D के बराबर. ठीक है. और ये वाला जो length है, इसको मैं L के बराबर मान लेती हूँ. So see in this case we can actually say यहाँ पे जो liquid molecules होंगे और यहाँ जो if I consider the left section, यहाँ पे जो liquid molecules होंगे force due to surface tension experience करेंगे. Now P1 and P2 की वजह से there will be a force F1 and F2 इस तरह से. ठीक है. So now I want to write the value for force due to surface tension. So if this is the left section of the liquid, तो यहाँ पे T into perpendicular distance L. Alright. तो ये हो गया T into L. Similarly, the lower side is also going to be surface tension into L. T is the surface tension. Now this is going to balance the pressure difference का force जो हमारे पास आ रहा है. Now pressure difference का force will be dependent on the projected area. So see, ये वाला length तो हमने D के बराबर लिया है. Now the length which extends inwards is L के बराबर. ये वाला length. ठीक है. So this is D, this is L. So I can write, okay, so in this case I can actually write this as, just a minute, yeah. So I can write P1 minus P2 into D into L, the projected area, is going to balance 2 times of T into L. So we get the pressure difference as 2T by D. This is the value that we are getting for the first case. ठीक है. Now we are interested in finding out the normal force that we require. ठीक है. तो देखो जब इसमें normal force लगाएंगे, the pressure over here is also P1, the pressure over here is P2. So when we are trying to pick this up, so this pressure difference का force should balance, just balance the force जो आप externally लगा रहे हो. तो externally जो force आ जाएगा, that will be P, delta P multiplied by the area, क्योंकि अब हमें इस region में force चाहिए. We are trying to lift this off. तो P1 की वजह से it will be नीचे की तरफ, P2 की वजह से ऊपर की तरफ. So the net force turns out to be balanced by delta P into A. So this turns out to be 2T by D into area. Now D को हम volume और area के terms में लिख सकते हैं. So this is turning out to be volume upon area. So this is the external force that we require. Okay. So this is 2 times of T into A square upon V. Okay, so the answer turns out to be the option 2. Now the next one, thermodynamic process दिया हुआ है हमें. We have to find out the work performed in A to B. तो यहाँ तो easy हो गया. We just have to find out the area covered by this graph, ये वाला. हमें ये पूरा area निकालना पड़ेगा. So I can write area is going to be, it's the area of this trapezium. हमें pressure A का दिया है, D का दिया है, then volume A and D का दिया हुआ है. So we can write this as sum of vertical sides PA plus PB, PD, PA plus PD, and this turns out to be VD minus VA. So all the values are given to you. Once you place the values, you'll get the answer as first 88 joules. Okay, 88 joules will be the answer for the first, basically the first answer option will be the correct one. Next is numerical based section. A point source of light is placed at the center of curvature of a hemispherical surface, it says. Okay, तो ये hemispherical surface है. यहाँ पे center में हमने point source रखा है जिसकी power is given to us. So I can write intensity, क्योंकि see we have to find out the force. तो force के लिए we are trying to find out the radiation pressure first. Then we are going to use radiation pressure to find out the force. ठीक है? So intensity is going to be power upon area 4 pi into radius square. So ये hemispherical part है तो half of the power will be there. So that means 12 by 2 pi r square. That makes sense. Okay. Now see, अगर हम यहाँ पे ये देखेंगे तो जो भी light ray है वो जा रही है और टकरा के वापस आ रही है. It's a perfectly reflecting surface. So the radiation pressure turns out to be, radiation pressure will be 2 times of intensity upon speed of light. See, now using this we can find out the force df. ठीक है, अभी df किस पे लग रहा है, हमारे पास ये जो arrangement है, ठीक है. So I am considering a very small, a thin element here, ठीक है, जो यहाँ से vertical से it's making an angle theta. All right. So for this elemental part, which is making an angle theta with the vertical, this, okay, and it is subtending an angle d theta. That means ये हो गया r d theta के बराबर. So this angle is d theta at the center. इसका radius हो जाएगा r sin theta. ठीक है. So see, ये जो elemental part है, this is going to experience a force ऐसे radially outwards because that is the direction of change in momentum. ठीक है. Now this df, the force, will have a vertical component which is going to give you the net value because all the vertical components are in the upward direction. तो ये हो गया df cos theta. All right. So since this is the value of df cos theta, so I can actually say I am just interested in finding out the value of df cos theta, right? So for that, I'll write the value of df cos theta. So this f net is going to be equal to integral of df cos theta. Now df की value will be dependent on this छोटा सा elemental part that you have taken. All right, so this elemental part will have pressure multiplied by area of the elemental part, 2I by c multiplied by area of this ring is going to be 2 pi, area enclosed by this ring basically, that is 2 pi r sin theta in its circumference multiplied by r d theta. This is pressure into area multiplied by cos theta. This is what we are getting. Now the limits are going to be from 0 to pi by 2 because we want to get a complete hemisphere. All right. Now I is given to us. Let's place a few values. So this turns out to be f is going to be equal to integral of 2 times of 25 watts upon 4 pi r square. Now the value of c is 3 times 10 to the power 8. All right. Now this is 2 pi r square and we have sin theta, cos theta, d theta. Okay, this is what we have from 0 to pi by 2. So once you see 4 pi r square is getting cancelled, this is going to give you 8 times 10 to the power minus 8 integral of sin theta, cos theta, d theta. Now this integration is going to give you a value of half. So this turns out to be 4 into 10 to the power minus 8 newtons. All right. So we are supposed to find out the value of that, basically the missing value, which is 4. So answer to this question turns out to be 4. All right. Now, next question number 22. Okay, so it says, see the angle it is making is very small. Okay. So if the angle is very small, yahan tension T, yahan tension T. So I can write the sine components can be directly written as 2t theta. This is what we have. Now देखो एक चीज हमें क्या निकालना है? We have to find out the area of cross section of this wire. All right, where a few things are given to us. Young's modulus is given to us, okay, of elasticity. Length is given to us, mass is given to us. Okay, and area nikalna hai. So for that area, we've been given all the data over here. Now the initial string was this. It has slightly deformed by an angle theta. So ab dekho yahan pe the length is increasing over here. All right. So we can first of all use the concept of laws of motion where the net force is going to balance each other. Okay. And then the concept of elasticity. Right. So first of all, FBD say I can write 2G is going to be equal to 2 times of T theta. Right. So this is going to give us a value of, which implies, because it is at equilibrium, 2T theta equal to 2G. So T की value, theta is 1 upon 100. So this is turning out to be 100 G के बराबर. ठीक है? 100 G is the value of tension over here. Next is we have to find out the area. तो उसके लिए now we will be requiring the concept of stress and strain. Hooke's law apply करेंगे. So stress for this wire, if you consider this elemental wire, this complete wire, the tension over here is T, okay? So the change in length in this, if I consider this to be delta L के बराबर, so we can find out the value of, we can apply Hooke's law as T by area is equal to Y into delta L upon the original length of the wire, that was L के बराबर, ठीक है? Original length was L के बराबर. Now see, tension हमें पता चल गया already, हमें निकालना है A, ठीक है? So tension is 100 G divided by area A. Young's modulus is 2 times of 10 to the power 11. Now this is L. Now delta L को हम लिख सकते हैं root of the hypotenuse square, which is L square plus X square minus L. The original length was L. Alright, so we can actually take this L outside. Okay, so this is what we are getting. So see, we are actually going to get, okay, so I'm going to write this as 100, just a second, yeah. So I'm going to write this as 100 into G divided by area, which turns out to be 2 into 10 to the power 11, okay. And there was, if I take this outside, so we are going to get root of, this is going to be 1 plus X square by L square to the power 1 by 2 minus L, all right, upon L. This is what we are getting, right? So see here, this L and this, if we, since X is very small here, it's mentioned over here, so we can actually write this as 100 G upon A is going to be equal to Y, that is 2 times of 10 to the power 11. Okay, so this is upon L into L, which is 1 minus 1 plus 1 by 2 times of X square by L square minus 1. All right, so this L, 1 is getting cancelled, so finally we are left with this result. You can see there was this L which is getting cancelled. So if you place the value of X by L, Y is already known, we can calculate the value of A. Now how to calculate the value of X? See, X upon L, this complete length is L, this angle is theta. So since theta is very small, so we can write X upon L is equal to tan theta. And since theta is very small, so this roughly turns out to be theta, where theta is given as 1 upon 100. All right, so we already got the value. So once we place this value, we'll get the value of this term as 1 into 10 to the power minus 4. All right, so this is how we solve this question. Now the result, let's check the answer, which is given as 1. Now the next question, question number 23. Fine. So see, in this question, a force has been given. Its magnitude is constant, but the angle is changing. So the angle is changing with X, where X is the displacement. It is the position which it changes. Okay. Now see, I have to find out the expression for kinetic energy. So I can see only one force is able to do work. So work done by external force is equal to change in kinetic energy, which is given as E, right? Now work done by this force can be written as magnitude is 2. The horizontal component will be 2 cos theta times dx if the displacement is along this direction, and theta is given as kx. So this is what we get as E. Now the limits are from 0 to x. So this gives you 2 times of, this is kx. Alright, so this is 2 by k times of sine kx. So we already got the answer for n. We wanted to find out the answer for n, so n turns out to be 2. Let's check the answer now. So the answer to this question is 2. Alright, now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so 2 sonic sources A and B. Their frequencies are given to us, their velocities are given to us. That means A is moving away from the observer. This is the observer. Alright, it is moving away. So effectively, the wavelength is increasing. This source is moving towards the observer. So effectively, the wavelength is decreasing. Okay. Now it says that the wind is blowing from in the direction of motion of source A. That means wind, I am assuming C as the speed of sound. Okay, so if C is the speed of sound that I am assuming, which is already given to us, I am assuming this value as C, right? So see, effectively, for this observer, the sound which is coming from A must travel towards the observer, but the wind is blowing in the opposite direction. So from, I can write, from A to O, the effective speed of sound, okay, effective speed of sound turns out to be C minus 10. C minus 10. Whereas when we talk about this, the sound which is coming from B and reaching the observer's ears, it is moving with the speed C, and the wind is also blowing in the same direction. All right. So that means effective speed of sound, effective speed of sound from B to O is turning out to be C plus 10. So this is the only difference that it creates. Rest everything else can be followed using the Doppler's effect that we know of. So for A, okay, from A to O, you can see the observer is at rest. So the frequency heard will be the frequency created, that is 170. 170 hertz is frequency created. Then the speed of sound is going to be C minus 10 here, whole divided by C minus 10 is the speed of sound, which is effectively reaching the person's ears, and this is moving away. So that means the wavelength is effectively increasing over here. So this is what we get for FA. Now similarly, FB is going to be the frequency of sound emitted by B divided by effective value of sound which is reaching the person's ears. तो ये हो गया C plus 10, ये wind and speed of sound का combined effect, and this is moving towards the source. तो ये हो गया minus 10. क्योंकि when the source is moving towards the observer, effective wavelength decreases. We have to find out the value of beat. Okay, so the beat frequency matlab difference of frequency. So this actually turns out to be FB minus FA. So this is 170 into C plus 10. Denominator mein we are left with only C. This is minus C plus 10. All right. So this is going to give you C's 340. So this is 170 upon 340. Okay, multiplied by 20. So the beat frequency turns out to be 10 hertz. So the answer to this question will be equal to 10 hertz. That is the beat frequency heard. Okay. Now let's move on to the last question of this paper for physics. So see, in this question we have to find out the estimated uncertainty. That means error निकालना है हमें यहाँ पे, ठीक है? So for that, a few things are given to us. एक तो actual values. This is the real depth. This is the apparent depth. So I can write the refractive index can be written as real depth upon the apparent depth, which is 5.25 mm. Everything is given in mm, so we are going to convert everything to mm only, right? So this turns out to be 1.05 This is the value of refractive index now, first data. Now, there is this traveling microscope. Main scale divisions are given to you, right? So, 20 main scale divisions correspond to 1 centimeter. Okay? So, 1 main scale division corresponds to 1 by 20 centimeter, या फिर हम कह सकते हैं 1 by 2 mm के बराबर. ठीक है? We want this because we want to find out the least count, because that least count will be the error in calculation of the apparent depth and the real depth. Alright. So, least count of vernier caliper can be written as 1 main scale reading minus 1 vernier scale reading. Alright. So, for this, it has been given 49 divisions on main scale are coinciding with 50 divisions on vernier scale. So, this gives you 1 by 50 times of 1 main scale reading. So, see, this is actually 1 main scale reading. That means the gap between two consecutive main scale में जो दो consecutive divisions होंगे उनके बीच का gap is 1 by 2 mm. So, this is 1 by 50 into 1 by 2 mm. Alright, so this is turning out to be 0.01 mm. ठीक है, इतना काम हो गया हमारा. So this least count will be the error in calculation of R, and this is also going to be the error in calculation of A. ठीक है. Now see, now it becomes easier. हमें uncertainty निकालनी है. We need to calculate the error. Error हमें निकालना है d mu. So we'll take the relative error because division rule apply होगा. So this is d mu by mu equal to dr by r plus dA by A. So everything has been converted to mm. So I can write d mu as mu times of dr by r plus dA by A. Alright, mu is already known to us. This is the value of mu. Now dr, this is going to be 1.05 times 0.01, the least count, because that is the least, basically the maximum permissible error while taking calculations. ठीक है? So manual error की वजह से भी हो सकता है वो. And R is actually going to be 5.25, that is given to us. 5.25 plus 0.01 upon 5. This is what we get as d mu. Okay. So when we calculate, this is the value of d mu. When we put the values and equate it to x by 10 times 10 to the power minus 3, we get the value of x as 41. Okay. So this, let's check the answer. So the answer to this question turns out to be 25. All right. So this is the end of the physics section. Now I would like to invite Sunny sir for the maths discussion. Hello sir. Yeah, I'll give you the pen. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the part test 7 for anemic test S series. Okay. In the first question, we have given that ABC are positive integers in GP with the common ratio as integer. And a relation is given between ABC, that A minus 2B plus C is 18, and we have to calculate the value of A. Obviously, if we get A, then we can calculate this also. So let's assume that first term of this GP is A. Second, we can write B as AR and C as AR square. So we are given that A minus 2B plus C is equal to 18. So that means A minus 2AR plus AR square is equal to 18. If we take A common from here, then we'll say A into R minus 1 whole square is equal to 18. Now both A and this quantity are integers, and this is a perfect square. So we have to break 18 in two parts, multiplication of two terms, in which one should be a perfect square. So there can be two possibilities. Either we can write it 18 into 1, or we can write it as 2 into 9. If we compare from here, then if A is equal to 18, then R minus 1 whole square can be equal to 1, or R is equal to 2. And if A is equal to 2, then again you can say that R minus 1 whole square is equal to 9, or R is equal to 4. Now A can be 18 or 2. If we substitute A is equal to 18 here, the value of this quantity will be 0. And if we substitute A is equal to 2 here, the value will be 304. So there can be two possibilities, either 0 or 304. So let's check the answer. Yeah, it's 0 or 304. 3 is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. There are two circles which intersect at 2 points. So these points are A and B. Okay, this is something like this. One circle, whose center is at origin and radius is 13. Another circle whose center is at y is equal to x line, say alpha comma alpha is the given, and whose radius is given as 5. So center of this circle is C2 and center of this circle is C1. Now we can calculate the length of C1, C2, which is root 2 times alpha. Now let's, these circles intersect at the points P and Q. We have given this length of common chord PQ as beta. Now obviously PQ will be perpendicular to C1, C2, and obviously if this point is R, then PR is half of PQ. If we join P with C1, this length is 13. If we join P with this center, this length is given as 5. Obviously it's equal to radius. Now we have given one more information that the angle C1PC2 is theta. If this angle is theta, then tan theta is 4/3. So we can calculate sin theta, cos theta, other trigonometric ratios. Let's assume this as phi. This angle PC2C1 as phi. Now we have to find the value of alpha and alpha into beta, product of alpha beta. If we look into this triangle C1PC2 and apply sine rule, so C1C2, this side length divided by sine of opposite angle, that is sine of theta, this must be equal to 13, this side length, divided by sine of opposite angle, that will be phi. So we got a relation between alpha, theta and phi, because C1, C2 is root 2 alpha. So we can write that root 2 alpha divided by sine theta is nothing but 13 divided by sine phi. From here we can say that sine phi is 13 sine theta divided by root 2 alpha. If tan theta is 4/3, then you can write down the value of sine theta also. Obviously it's in first quadrant. Theta is given as tan inverse 4/3. So the value of sine theta will be 4/5. So the sine phi will be 52 divided by 5 root 2 times alpha. This is sine phi. Now we have to calculate some relation between phi and beta also. So if we look here in this triangle, right angle triangle PRC2. Here it is right angle triangle at R. So this length PR is nothing but 5 sine phi. Or you can say beta by 2 is 5 into sine of phi. Now replacing the value of sine phi from there, we'll get beta is equal to 10 times sine phi, and that is 52 divided by 5 root 2 times alpha. Now simply if you multiply alpha in the left side, so this will be alpha beta is 52 root 2. So according to us, the answer must be 4. Let's move on the answer. Yeah, it's 4. Okay. Moving on to the next question. We have to find the radius of the smallest circle which touches this both the parabolas. If we plot these parabolas, the first parabola is y is equal to x square, something like this. The vertex will be at 0, 0. And the second parabola is a downward parabola. Both the parabolas are equal parabolas. If you observe, the length of latest rectum will be same. So the second parabola will be something like this, whose vertex will be 0, 4. So if we are looking for a circle which touches both these parabolas and obviously was centralized on their axis, then there can be 3 circles. Like one will be, if you can observe it, will touch this parabolas like this. One will be a circle which will touch the parabolas will like this. And a circle whose radius will be obviously smaller than these two circles will touch the parabolas like this. So we have to find radius of this circle. So obviously by symmetry, you can say that if this vertex is 0, 4, this is 0, 0, then center of this circle will be 0, 2. And we have to find radius of this circle. So we take a point here, t by 2, t square by 2. T by 2, t square by 4 on this parabola, y is equal to x square in parametric coordinates. So we have to minimize this, because that will be that will be radius of the circle when the circle touch this parabola. So we have to minimize this distance. So applying distance formula, we can get, say these points are A and B. So distance AB will be equal to root of t by 2 minus 0 whole square, that means t square by 4, plus t square by 4 minus 2, or you can say t square minus 8 by 4 whole square. So this is the distance AB. So we have to minimize this. So let's simplify this. So this is under root. If you take LCM, this will be t power 4, expand this, minus 16 t square, and here you will see plus 4 t square. If we take LCM here, the LCM will be 16. So this will be minus 12 t square, and the finally you will see that the constant term will be 64. If you complete the square here, this will be under root of t square minus 6 whole square plus 28 divided by 16. If you say the minimum value of this, then that will be, I think, root 7 divided by, because 28 by 16, that will be the minimum value, root of 28 by 16, and that will be root of 7 divided by 2. Okay, 2 should be the correct answer. Yes, 2 is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. This question is based on inverse trigonometric functions. Just we have to plot the graph of y is equal to sine inverse of sine x and y is equal to fx, this pi by 3 minus mod of x by 6. Then we have to look the points of intersection. Okay, if we plot y is equal to sine inverse sine x, you already know, and we have to plot this graph between minus pi by 2 to minus 5 pi by 2 to 5 pi by 2. So between 0 to pi by 2, this will be y is equal to x line. Then after pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, this will be y is equal to pi minus x line. And then after 3 pi by 2 to 5 pi by 2, this point is 5 pi by 2. This will be y is equal to x minus 2 pi line. This point is 2 pi comma 0. This is pi comma 0. This is origin. Similarly, in the left side of y-axis, if plot this y is equal to sine inverse sine x, again up to minus pi by 2, this will be y is equal to x line only. Then from between minus pi by 2 and minus 3 pi by 2 and minus pi by 2, this will be aligned with minus 1 slope, that is y is equal to minus x minus pi. And similarly, between minus 5 pi by 2 to minus 3 pi by 2, this point is minus 3 pi by 2. So between these minus 5 pi by 2 to minus 3 pi by 2, this will be y is equal to x plus 2 pi. Now we have to plot this fx is equal to pi by 3 minus mod x divided by 6. This is even function, you can say, because it's mod x. If you put x or minus x, it will be same. So let's plot this graph on the positive x-axis. So this will be at x is equal to the 0, it will be pi by 3, the value of y. And when this y is 0, so x will be 2 pi. So this will pass through this point. So this is a straight line which will be something like this. And similarly, if you take the reflection in the left side, this will be something like this. So we have to calculate the number of points of intersection. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are 5 points of intersection. Okay, let's check the answer. Yeah, there are 5 points of intersection. Moving on to the next question. a variable line which passes through the point 5 comma minus 12 having a positive slope m intersect the coordinate x's at the points A and B. Then we have to, if OA and OB are the distances of A and B from the origin, OA and OB are the lengths. Okay, so we have to find the minimum value of the product OA into OB. Okay, the scenario is something like this, that a variable line, slope is positive, which passes through this 5 comma minus 12 point, slope is m, intersect the x's at A and B, and O is the origin. So if OA and OB are the distances, so we have to find the minimum value of this product. Okay, so if we write down the equation of this line, so that will be y plus 12 is equal to m into x minus 5. If we put y is equal to 0, you can check that this coordinate will be, x coordinate will be 5 plus 12 divided by m, comma 0. This point will be this, 12 divided by m. And similarly, if we put x is equal to 0, you can see the point B will be 0 comma minus 5m minus 12. Okay, so we have to find the product, minimum value of this product. Now this coordinate is negative because m is positive, but this length will be 5m plus 12. Obviously this is below the origin, so it is negative, but we have to take the magnitude only. So OA into OB, what is the value of OA into OB? That will be 5 plus 12 divided by m, that is OA, multiplied by OB length will be 5m plus 12. You have to take absolute value. So we have to calculate minimum value of this, where m is given as positive. Let's multiply this. This will be, I think, 25m plus 144 divided by m plus, I think, if you take the constant term, that will be 120. Now applying AMGM here, you can calculate the minimum value of this, and finally we can comment on the minimum value of OA into OB. So if you apply AMGM here, the minimum value of this will be again 120 to root AB. So the final answer must be 240. So according to us, 2 is the correct answer. Let's check the answer. Yeah, it is 240. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Okay, the question is based on limit. Okay, if we write the general term here, this is something summation 1 divided by under root of n plus r multiplied by n plus r plus 1. Okay, now r moves from 0 to n, and then we have to apply limit n tends to infinity. This is given as n. We have to calculate this. Okay, if we apply or we can see that 1 divided by root n plus r into n plus r plus 1. This will be smaller than 1 divided by n plus r, because n plus r plus 1 is greater than n plus r. So if we measure it or compare this in reciprocal, so this 1 upon n plus r plus 1 will be smaller than 1 upon n plus r. So we can write this, that this quantity will be smaller than 1 upon r plus n plus r, because after applying root on n plus r into n plus r, we'll get 1 upon n plus r. Similarly, we can write that this will be greater than 1 upon n plus r plus 1. Obviously, now you can say that n plus r is smaller than n plus r plus 1. So if we compare it in reciprocal, so this quantity will be greater than 1 upon n plus r plus 1. Now applying summation on this complete, so you can say that summation r is equal to 0 to n 1 upon root of n plus r into n plus r plus 1. So this will be smaller than summation 1 upon n plus r is equal to 0 to n, and will be greater than 1 upon n plus r plus 1 summation r is equal to 0 to n. Okay. Now if you apply limit n tends to infinity, So this will be, using limit of a sum, you can say limit n tending to infinity, 1 upon n, taking n common from the denominator, you can write it r is equal to 0 to n, 1 upon 1 plus r by n. So you can say it that L, after applying limit n tending to infinity, is actually lies between this and that expression. Now if you apply n tends to infinity, so this and this will be tending to same value, because there is only a change of 1 r. That here if you start r from 0, then you are starting this series from 1 upon n, and here you are starting the series from 1 upon n plus 1. If you can say avoid 1 upon n here, because n tends to infinity and 1 upon n will tending to 0. So both the series or both the sum will be same, will tend to the same value. Now you can calculate this by converting this into integration, that this is nothing but integration 0 to 1, 1 upon 1 plus x dx, and which is nothing but ln of 2. So this limit lies between ln2 and ln2. So by applying sandwich theorem or squeeze play, we can comment that this limiting value is nothing but ln2. So this limiting value lies between. So the value of ln2 lies between 0 and 1. So 2 must be the correct answer. 2 is the correct answer. This limiting value is ln2. This is very easy question. We have to check the continuity and differentiability. The function is defined as x square for rational x between 0 to 2 and 2x minus 1 for irrational x between 0 to 2. If you plot both the graphs, x square and 2x minus 1 between 0 to 2, then you can see there is something like this. This is 2, and 2x minus 1 is actually a tangent to y is equal to x square at x is equal to 1. Now we have defined fx as x square only for rational values of x between 0 to 2. So you will see some discrete nature here, like this. And similarly, this 2x minus 1 is defined for irrational values only. So there will be discontinuity if you observe this graph other than 1. But at x is equal to 1, both the functions approach the same value. So at x is equal to 1, you will feel that the limiting values and the value at x is equal to 1, the rational point, and in the neighborhood at irrational points also, both the x square and 2x minus 1 will approach 1. So this function fx will be continuous. And similarly, you can comment, you can check the derivatives also. At x is equal to 1, the derivative will be same, and that will be 2. You can differentiate both these functions. So this is very basic question. So in option 1 there are 2 points of differentiability. No, it's not correct. F dash 1 is 2. So this is the correct answer. F dash 1 is equal to 1 is not correct. Let's check the answer. F dash 1 is 2. So this was very basic question. Okay, in the next question, we have to comment on the area bounded by the following curves. Fx is x cube, gx is 1 minus x whole cube. Just we have shifted this cubic and taken reflection. And hx is some, you can say, linear function or modulus function, which will be straight lines in different portions. So we have to find the area A, or we have to comment on the area that which of the following statements are incorrect. So let's plot these functions first. If we plot y is equal to x cube, this will be something like this. Y is equal to x cube. And then 1 minus x whole cube. So this will be at, the root will be x is equal to 1. There will be 3 repeated roots. So the graph will be something like this. Okay. And the graph of hx, if you say 5 by 4 minus half mod of x minus half, so this is symmetric. about x is equal to half. At x is equal to half, the value is 5/4, greater than the values of these cubics. So if we plot this graph hx when x is greater than half, so this will be something like this. You can check it. You can break the mode with positive sign only. So you can write it as 5/4 minus x/2 and plus 1/4. So this is nothing but 3/2 minus x/2, or 3 minus x divided by 2. This is hx. And in the left side, obviously, this is symmetric about x is equal to half. So the graph will be like this. So if x is smaller than half, this will be open with a minus sign. So you can take plus here. So this is 5/4 minus 1/4, that is 1. So 2 minus x divided by 2. Because this will be minus x/2, that will be plus 1. So it is plus x/2. Okay. So this is a final graph, or you can say 1 plus x/2. So we have to find the area bounded by these three curves. So you can see that this is the final bounded region. You can also find the points of intersections. Now y is equal to 2 plus x divided by 2, and y is equal to 1 minus x whole cube. You can see x is equal to 0 is the point of intersection. So y-axis will pass from here only. They will intersect on the y-axis. And similarly, you can check that they will intersect on this point, x is equal to 1. So the final bounded area is nothing but, you can see that integration 0 to half. Now this minus this, upper boundary minus lower boundary. So means you can write that area is 2 times, twice of integration 0 to half. Now this upper function is 2 plus x/2 or 1 plus x/2 minus this lower boundary, that is 1 minus x whole cube, complete integration. So is there any option like this? Yeah. Option 2 is matching. We have to comment on the incorrect statements. So this is not the incorrect statement. Similarly, you can also write this area using this region. Again, twice of that region will be the area. So you can write that A is nothing but integration half to 1, 2 times integration half to 1. Now upper boundary is 3 minus x divided by 2 minus lower region is, that is x cube. If we check, is there any option which contains this? So option 1 containing this. So option 1 is also correct. Option 2 is also correct statements. But we have to comment on the incorrect statement. So now you can calculate using this integration or this integration. You'll get that A is equal to 21/32. So this will also be the correct statement. Though the final incorrect statement, that will be 4. So this must be the answer of this question, the incorrect statement. Answer is 4. Okay, next. This question is based on inverse function. We have to comment on the derivative of the inverse of a function. Fx is given and we have to comment on g double dash 0. So if you check here, f of 0 is 0. Well, 0, 0 point satisfies this graph. Similarly, you can say g of 0 is also 0. If f of alpha is beta, then g of beta is alpha. So from here we can comment that f of gx is nothing but x only. Now differentiating this equation 2 times. So f dash of gx, just to find the relation or expression g double dash x. So f dash gx into g dash x is 1. Now applying chain rule. Now again differentiating this will be f double dash gx into g dash x whole square plus f dash of gx into G double dash x. Now this is 0. Now putting x is equal to 0, so we know g of 0 is 0, so this will be f double dash 0 into g dash 0 whole square plus f dash 0, because g of 0 is 0, into g double dash 0. Now this is equal to 0. We have to calculate g double dash 0. So we have to calculate f dash 0, f double dash 0, g dash 0. Now again, if we put x is equal to 0 here, we'll see that f dash 0 into g dash 0 is nothing but 1. F dash 0 into g dash 0 is 1. Now differentiating this function fx with respect to x, so f dash x is 10 plus 2 pi cos of 2 pi x and plus 5 x power 4. So f of 0 is, if you put x is equal to 0, you will get that f of 0 is something 10 plus 2 pi. Okay. Now what is f double dash 0? So f double dash x is, now derivative term will be 0. Differentiating this, so this will be minus 4 pi square sine of 2 pi x and plus 20x cube. Now if you put x is equal to 0 here, this will be 0 only. So f double dash 0 is 0. So this quantity is 0, this is non-zero. So 0 plus something non-zero into required. So you can easily comment that g double dash 0 is 0. So answer must be 1, option 1, right? The value is 0. One is the correct answer. Okay, moving on the next question. This question is based on the properties. There is a hyperbola. Some hyperbola whose center is 1 comma minus 2. You know the length of transverse and conjugate axis also. Now here they are saying that from any point Q on the asymptotes, if you take any point Q on the asymptotes, a line is drawn perpendicular to the transverse axis, which meets the hyperbola at P and P dash. And at the point P, we have drawn a tangent which meets the asymptotes at L and G. Okay. So first we have to comment on the value of PQ into QP dash. So PQ, this portion, and QP dash. So this is always equal to B square. Using property you can comment this, or you can take any point N here. Was x coordinate is alpha, so take this point as alpha comma 0. Then you can also, taking this double ordinate, you can also comment by solving that this product will always be equal to B square. So option 1 and option 2 both are incorrect, because B square is actually 4. Now we have to comment on the area of the triangle CLG. C is the center of this hyperbola. So you know that if you draw any tangent at any point P which intersect the asymptotes at L and G, then area of this triangle CGL is constant. Always that will be equal to A into B. So A is 3 and B is equal to 2. So area of this triangle must be 6. So 3 must be the correct answer. Three is the correct answer. Moving on the next question. Integration minus 1 to 1, sine of cot inverse of something. So let's convert this into first. Sine of tan inverse x square divided by root 1 minus x power 4 dx. Now obviously this is a positive, or you can say non-negative quantity. So this angle tan inverse of something is acute angle. So by using a right angle triangle, you can comment that this hypotenuse will be 1. So this sine of this angle can be written as x square only, sine of x square. Okay, well, sine inverse x square. So this can be written as minus 1 to 1 sine of sine inverse x square dx. And this is nothing but x square from minus 1 to 1 dx, or you can say this is 2 times 0 to 1 x square dx. Now integrating this, this is x cube divided by 3 from 0 to 1, so this is 2 by 3. Very easy question if you break this question like this. So answer must be 2 by 3, that is in option 2. So 2 is the correct option. Next question. If two tangents are drawn from the point 3, 4 to this curve, again if you observe this curve, this is defined in parametric form. This is an ellipse whose length of major and minor axes are 6 and 4 respectively. So they are saying that this is standard ellipse, the center is at origin, x square divided by 9 plus y square divided by 4 is equal to 1. This is the equation of the ellipse. So we have to draw tangents to this ellipse from the point 3, 4. So from this point P, tangents PQ and PR are drawn, and we have to comment on the orthocenter of this triangle PQR. Okay. Now this point R is directly visible, that if ellipse is x square divided by 9 plus y square divided by 4 is equal to 1, then this point is 3, 0. And if you are drawing the tangent from 3, 4, then obviously this is a vertical tangent at the vertex. So point R can be commented directly that this point is 3, 0. Otherwise we can say that if we draw a tangent at 3 cos theta, 2 sin theta at any general point, whose eccentric angle is theta, we can write the equation of the tangent at x cos theta divided by 3 plus y sin theta divided by 2 is equal to 1. Now this tangent passes through the point 3, 4. Let's pass this tangent through the point 3, 4. We'll get, if x is 3, y is 4, then we'll get cos theta plus 2 sin theta is nothing but 1. So from here we can calculate the value of theta also. Okay? So solving theta, then we can get that, we can comment that the point Q and R. Now how we will solve the value of theta here? Now taking cos theta in the right side and expanding in or breaking this theta in half angle. So this will be 2 sin theta can be written as 4 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. And in the right hand side we'll write 1 minus cos theta, that will be 2 sin square theta by 2. From here you can see either sin theta by 2 is 0 or tan theta by 2 is 2. There are two possibilities. Now from here if you comment on the theta, from this we can say that theta is nothing but 2 n pi in general, or between 0 to 2 pi you can comment that theta is 0. So from there also, if theta is 0, you can get the point 3, 0. That one point of contact is 3, 0. For second point of contact, you can use tan theta by 2 is equal to 2. So what will be the value of cos theta and sin theta? So you can write cos theta as 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta by 2. Similarly, sin theta can be written as 2 tan theta by 2 divided by 1 plus tan square theta by 2. Now replacing the value of tan theta by 2 as 2, you will get this point will be 3 into 1 minus 4, that means minus 3 divided by 1 plus 4, that is 5, comma theta by 2 is 2, tan theta by 2 is 2, so this will be 8 divided by 5. So minus 9 by 5, comma 8 by 5. So second point of contact is minus 9 by 5, comma 8 by 5. Now you got all the three vertices of this triangle, and you can comment on the orthocenter. Now again the calculation will be easy, because orthocenter will be point of intersection of altitudes. One altitude will be drawn from this point Q. So this will be a horizontal line only, because PR is a vertical line. So the y coordinate of the orthocenter will be same as the y coordinate of the point Q, that will be 8 by 5. So option 4 must be correct. Otherwise, you can again write down one more equation of one more altitude, because you can calculate the slope of QR and passing it through P. So the line will come out, and by putting y is equal to 8 by 5, you can calculate the value of x there. The value of x will be 11 by 5. So answer must be 4. 4 is the correct answer. Just we have to calculate the points of contact. Okay, next question is based on matrices. This is given that A be a non-singular and symmetric matrix of third order such that A is adjoint of A plus A transpose. So if it is a symmetric matrix, then A transpose is nothing but A. So we have given A is equal to adjoint of 2A. Now this, using this, you can write that this will be nothing but 4 times adjoint of A. Using the property adjoint of Ka is equal to K power n minus 1 adjoint of A. So now applying modulus both the sides, taking determinant both the sides, determinant A will be equal to, this will be 64 times determinant of A square. Now determinant A is non-zero because it's non-singular. So determinant A can be equal to 1 by 64. So option 2 is the correct option. Again, if we have to comment on A inverse and A, now you know that A is nothing but 4 times adjoint of A, and adjoint of A can be written as determinant A into A inverse. So from here you can say that A is nothing but, now this is 1 by 64, so A inverse divided by 16. So A inverse is 16 times A. A inverse is 16 times A. So this is incorrect, this is incorrect. Similarly, you can again comment on adjoint of A inverse and A. Because using this relation again, you know adjoint of A is 1 by 64 times A inverse. Now you can take inverse on both the sides. So option D will be also, fourth option will also be incorrect option. So second is the correct option. So this is the correct answer. Next question, again it's a basic question. Now a relation between A dot B and A dot C is given, and then equation in vector form is given where B and C are non-collinear vectors and non-zero vectors. So now if we compare these both sides, now the left side will be A dot C B vector minus A dot B C vector. And the right side we are saying that this is alpha square minus 2 alpha plus 5 times B vector minus sine beta C vector. Now if B and C are non-zero non-collinear vectors, then you can directly compare the coefficients of B vector and C vector. Then A dot C is nothing but alpha square minus 2 alpha plus 5, and A dot B is sine beta. And here we are given that A dot B plus A dot C is 3. So that means sum of these two quantities will be 3. So alpha minus 1 whole square plus 4 plus sine beta must be equal to 3. From here we can comment that alpha minus 1 whole square is nothing but minus 1 minus sine beta. Using boundary condition, we can comment that this will be 0 and this will also be 0. Otherwise, this equation will not hold. So alpha must be equal to 1 and sine beta must be minus 1. So we can calculate the general solution of sine beta 2n pi minus pi by 2. So we are asked that alpha comma beta line lies on which of the following curves. So obviously if alpha is 1 and beta is 2n pi minus pi by 2, so this will satisfy on the curve x is equal to 1, that alpha is equal to 1. Okay. So answer must be 3. 3 is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question, there are two planes P1 and P2 which does not intersect, and distance between them is given 3 units. These are parallel planes. Nothing else is commented on A, C and D directly. So we can assume P2 as directly 2x minus 3y plus 6z because ratio of the coefficients, if the planes are parallel, then ratio of the coefficients will be same. So we are just directly assuming 2 minus 3 and 6 plus some k is equal to 0. So this is P2. And P1 is given as 2x minus 3y plus 6z plus 5 is equal to 0. Distance between these two planes is given as 3 units. So we can calculate the value of k because distance between parallel planes will be k minus 5 divided by root of a square plus b square plus c square, and that is nothing but 4 plus 9 plus 36. So 4 plus 9 plus 36 whole mod, this must be equal to 3. So mod of k minus 5 is nothing but, this will be 7. So this is 21. So k can be equal to 5 plus minus 21. So that will be 26 or minus 16. There will be two possible values of k. Now we have to comment on the value of alpha. There is a point P, alpha, comma, 1, comma, minus 2, which lies between both the planes. Okay. So if a point lies between both the planes, then you have to put that point in these planes and the product must be negative. So we can say if we put alpha, comma, 1, comma, minus 2 in both the planes, so this will be 2 alpha minus 3 minus 12 plus k, and in second plane P1 that will be 2 alpha minus 3 minus 12 plus 5. This must be less than 0. Okay. So this is 2 alpha plus k minus 15 multiplied by 2 alpha, and this will be minus 10. So this should be less than 0. Now we have two possible values of k. So either 26 or minus 16. So if we put 26 here, so this is 2 alpha plus 11 multiplied by 2 alpha minus 10 should be less than 0. From here you can say, sir, alpha belongs to minus 11 by 2 to 5. And if we put k is equal to minus 16 here, then alpha belongs to 5 to 31 by 2. So alpha can lie between these values. So we are asked that what can be the value of alpha. So in this range, if you see, then 13 is the only possibility, because this is actually between minus 5.5 to 5 open and then 5 to 15.5. So 13 is the only possibility. So this must be the answer. Yeah, 13 is the answer. Option 1 is correct. Moving on to the next question. If y is equal to x is a solution of this differential equation. This is linear differential equation, and y of 1 is given as e by 2. This is defined for positive x. Then we have to comment on y of e. Okay, taking integrating factor. What will be the integrating factor? That will be e power integration px dx. That means coefficient of y. So that is ln x. So this is nothing but e power x ln x minus x. So this is integrating factor. Further simplifying this, you can say this will be x power x divided by e power x. Okay, this is integrating factor. Multiplying this in the complete equation, we'll see in the left hand side that will be differentiation of y into integrating factor. And in the right hand side, after multiplying this, you'll get x only. So integrating both the sides, we'll get y into x power x divided by e power x is nothing but x square by 2 plus some constant. Now we have given a condition that y of 1 is equal to e by 2. From that condition, we can calculate the value of c, and c will be equal to 0. So finally, y will be equal to x square into e power x divided by 2 x power x. This is y of x. We have to comment of y of e. Now put x is equal to e, then y of e will be e square into e power e divided by 2 e power e. So this will be cancelled out. So final answer must be e square by 2. Let's check. So option 2 must be the correct answer. Option 2 is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. This simple question based on the binomial series. If we write the general term here, then the general term is actually R NCR. You can observe the numerator, and in the denominator we have written R plus 1. Now the summation starts from R is equal to 1 up to n terms. So R is equal to 1 to n. But if we start this summation from R is equal to 0 also, then I don't think there will be some problem, because at R is equal to 0, the value is 0 only. Okay? So we can start it from R is equal to 0 to n. So we have to comment on this. We have to compare this value with the given and comment on n. So now writing this R as R plus 1 minus 1. We can say that this will be, we can break this summation in two parts. One is summation of NCR with R plus 1 divided by R plus 1, and one is minus summation of NCR divided by R plus 1. R is equal to 0 to n. Both are standard summations. This is 2 power n, and that will be 2 power n plus 1 minus 1 divided by n plus 1. Okay? You know, direct results. Or you can simply solve this by multiplying n plus 1 or dividing n plus 1. So that will convert into n plus 1c R plus 1. So now comparing this, or first simplifying this, this will be n into 2 power n plus 2 power n minus 2 power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. And this is nothing but taking 2 power n common. This is n minus 1 plus 1 divided by n plus 1. And this is actually 2 power 21. So we can write down 2 power 21 as 2 power 4 into 2 power 17 plus 1 divided by 17 plus 1. We can write this given expression as this. Now by comparing, you can see that n must be 17. So option 3 must be the correct answer. Option 3 is the correct answer. Next question. There are 5 different diamonds, 3 identical jewels, and R identical pearls. We have to find total number of necklaces, or we have given the total number of necklaces formed are equal to 50400. So we have to comment on the value of R. So using 5 different diamonds, 3 identical jewels, and R identical pearls, if we have to comment on total number of necklaces to be formed, then that will be 5 plus 3 plus R minus 1, that will be 7 plus R factorial divided by 3 factorial for identical jewels and R factorial for identical pearls. Divide by 2, that the question is for, we have to form the necklaces. We have to, avoid this clockwise and anti-clockwise senses. So this value is given as 50400. Now we have to comment on R. Now multiplying this by 7 factorial and dividing this, so we can write this down as 7 plus R C7. Okay, and the remaining value is nothing but 7 into 6 factorial, that is 720, divided by this is 12 is equal to 50400. Now cancelling this out, this is actually 60, and again this will be 840, and finally it is 120. So R plus 7, C7 is 120, and which is nothing but 10C7. So you can comment that R must be 3. So option 2 must be the correct option. Yeah, R is 3. Next question, this is based on complex numbers. If 1 alpha 1 alpha 2 up to alpha 6 are the roots of this equation, then we have to comment on that summation. Okay. Now we can write that z power 7 minus 8z plus 7 is nothing but z minus 1, z minus alpha 1, z minus alpha 2 up to z minus alpha 6. We can write that this is always true for every z. Now taking logarithm both the sides and differentiating this, we'll get logarithm of this is equal to actually logarithm of z minus 1 plus logarithm of z minus alpha 1 up to logarithm of z minus alpha 6. This will be broken into summation. Now differentiating both the sides, we'll get 7 z power 6 minus 8 divided by z power 7 minus 8z plus 7, derivative of ln of something using chain rule. This will be 1 upon z minus 1 plus 1 upon z minus alpha 1. With respect to z, we have differentiated this up to 1 upon z minus alpha 6. Now, if we put z is equal to iota or minus iota, and using these two, we can create, by adding or subtracting, we can create the denominator like this, alpha k square plus 1. So first, let's put z is equal to iota. So if we put z is equal to iota, so this will be minus 15 divided by 7 minus 9 iota. This is minus. And this is 1 upon iota minus 1 plus 1 upon iota minus alpha 1 up to 1 upon iota minus alpha 6. Now again, if we put z is equal to minus iota, so this will be again, if we put z is equal to minus iota, this will be minus 15 divided by 7 plus 9 iota. And in the right hand side, you can see that will be minus 1 upon iota plus 1 plus minus 1 upon iota plus alpha 1. Minus will be taken common and will reflect that minus in the numerator. Okay. So this will be the scenario. So now minus will be cancelled out in the second portion. And now if you add both these equations, you will directly get summation 1 upon alpha k square plus 1. Now how will you get? Now adding both these two, adding both these two equations, we will get, okay, in the left hand side, we have minus 15 divided by 7 minus 9 iota is equal to 1 upon iota minus 1 plus 1 upon iota plus 1, 1 upon iota minus alpha 1 and so on up to 1 upon iota minus alpha 6. And in the second equation, we have 15 upon 7 plus 9 iota, and that is nothing but 1 upon iota plus 1 plus 1 upon iota plus alpha 1 up to 1 upon iota plus alpha 6. Simply add both these two. So we will get, denominator will be 7 minus 9 iota into 7 plus 9 iota, that will be 130. And in the numerator, 15 will be taken common. And what will be the addition? 7 minus 9 iota minus 7 plus 9 iota. So that will be minus 18 iota. And here, if you add these two, so this will be 2 iota divided by iota square minus 1 square, that is minus 2. Similarly, 2 iota divided by minus 1 plus alpha 1 whole square up to 2 iota divided by minus 1 plus alpha 6 square. So from both the sides, minus 2 iota. You can cancel out minus 2 iota from both the sides. This will be 9. So this is 135 divided by 130 is nothing but half plus required. So this is half plus required. We have to calculate this summation. We have to comment on that summation. So required, that summation 1 upon 1 plus alpha k square. K is equal to 1 to 6. That summation is nothing but, you can see 135 divided by 130 minus 65 by 130, because that is half only. So 70 by 130, or you can say it is 7 by 30. So 1 should be the correct option, 7 by 13. So 1 is the correct option. Okay. Okay, next question. This is easy question. Just you have to take x power 1 by 2025 common out of this bracket. So this is integration 2026 to 2027, and when you take x power 1 by 2025 common, so this will be x minus 2026 power 2025, and outside you will get x only. So this is the integration. Now you can simply substitute x minus 2026 as t. So dx will be equal to dt only. Integration will convert from 0 to 1. because x is from 2026 to 2027. So t will be between 0 to 1. And this is t power 2025 into t plus 2026 dt. Now simply you can integrate it. This will be 1 upon 2027 plus that will be 1. So answer must be 2028 divided by 2027. So 4 must be the correct answer. 2028 divided by 2027. 4 is the correct answer. Next question. Now we have 5 numerical based questions. In the first question, or question number 71, alpha greater than beta be the roots of this equation, and In is defined as alpha power n plus beta power n. So directly using Newton's theorem, we can comment that In plus 2 minus 11 In plus 1 plus 19 In must be 0. And we have to comment on this. So I 2027. So put n is equal to 2025 here in this equation. So I 2027 minus 11 I 2026 plus 19 I 2025 must be 0. So what is numerator here? That is I 2027 minus this. So minus 4 I 2026 plus 5 I 2025. This is numerator. So if we put the value of I 2027 from here, so that will be, I think, 7 I 2026 minus 14 I 2025. This is nothing but 7 times denominator, because denominator is I 2026 minus 2 times I 2025. So this ratio must be 7. So 7 must be the correct answer. 7 is the correct answer. Next question. For some real constants a0, a1 up to an, such that a relation is given between these constants, a function fx is defined, and then we have to comment on the minimum roots of fx is equal to 0 between 1 and e square. So let's assume a function hx, because when you comment, you have to comment on at least alpha roots in this interval, so we can give a thought about mean value theorems. So if fx is given, so we are taking a function which is actually integration of fx, so, or in the form of that integration of fx. So hx is assumed as an ln x whole power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus an minus 1 ln x whole power n divided by n, and so on up to this a1 ln x whole square divided by 2 plus a0 ln x. Say this is some hx. Now if you say h dash x, so h dash x is nothing actually, that will be fx divided by x only, because when you will differentiate this, n plus 1 will be cancelled out and ln x power will be n, but there will be an extra term that will be 1 by x. So h dash x will be fx upon x. Now if we are saying that h of 1 is 0, because every term will be 0, and if you comment on h of e square, because we have to comment on the interval 1 and e square, so what will be the value of h of e square? So if you put x is equal to e square, so ln x will be 2. So you will get a relation that h of e square is nothing but 0 using this given relation. So this is also 0. So a function which is obviously continuous and differentiable between 1 and e square, because it's in the form of ln x only. So that is taking the value 0 at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to e square. Now you can comment using Rolle's theorem that this derivative of this function will be 0 at least one point in this interval. So derivative is 0, that means fx is 0 at least one point in this given interval. So alpha must be 1. So 1 is the correct answer. Next question. This is again easy question of probability. There are 9 digits in a set. If 5 numbers are selected at random from this set given set S, and the probability that 6 is not the third largest number of these selected numbers, that is P, then we have to comment on 63P. Okay, if we say that if 6 is the third largest number, if 6 is the third largest number, then two numbers are greater than 6 and two numbers are smaller than 6, because we have to select total 5 numbers. So if we calculate the probability that 6 is the third largest number, then the number of possible ways will be 3C2, because greater than 3 there are available 3 digits only, into 5C2, because below 6 there are 5 available digits, we have to select only 2, divided by total ways are 9C5. So this is the probability that 6 is the third largest number. If we subtract this from 1, so this must be the probability that 6 is not the third largest number, so this is P. Now if we calculate this, this is nothing but 1 minus, this is 10 into 3, so 30, divided by, you can say 9C5, 9C5 is 9, 8, 7, 6, divided by 24, and this is nothing but 1 minus 15 divided by 63. So if we calculate this, this is 48 divided by 63. We have to comment on 63P only. So the answer must be 48. So answer is 48. Okay, next question. We have to comment on this ratio. If we observe both the expressions inside the integration, these are something like inverse of each other, but they are not exactly the inverse of each other. So if we assume a function fx, 1 plus x minus 1 whole cube whole power half plus 1, if this is fx, if I add 1 in the above expression, then f inverse x will be nothing but 1, or you can say x minus 1 whole cube minus 1 whole power, this is square, whole power 1 by 3 plus 1. You can calculate this. If fx is this, then f inverse x will be this only. If I put x here and this y, then that will be x minus y whole square minus 1 whole power 1 by 3 plus 1. So we know, okay, we can also say that f of 0, if I put x is equal to 0, so this will be 0. So f of 0 is 1 and f of 1 is nothing but 2. So I say that integration 0 to 1 fx dx plus integration 1 to 2, that is f of 0 to f of 0 to f of 1, that f of a to f of b, f inverse x dx. So this must be a or b f of b minus a f of a. So that is nothing but 2. Now simply integrate these two between the given limits. So integration 0 to 1, this expression plus 1, okay, that is complete fx. So if I integrate this separately, that 1 plus x minus 1 whole power 3 whole power half dx, and 1 separately between 0 to 1, that will be 1, plus similarly if I integrate f inverse between 1 to 2, so I have to integrate this separately and 1 separately. So that is integration 1 to 2 x minus 1 whole square minus 1 whole power 1 by 3 dx, and again plus 1 is equal to 2. So this 2 is cancelled out from both the sides, and we got a result that integration 0 to 1 plus x minus 1 whole power 3 whole power half dx is nothing but integration 1 to 2. If I am taking this into right, then I'll change the sign. So I can write it 1 minus x minus 1 whole square whole power 1 by 3 dx. Okay. So basically we have proved that both numerator and denominator are same. So this ratio must be 1. So 1 is the correct answer. So last question of this particular exam, mains paper. We have to, if area bounded by this parabola and this straight line is minimum, then we have to comment on the slope of this line. So we need to know just one concept, that for a 2-degree curve like parabola, ellipse, hyperbola or circle, if we are saying that a point P lies inside this curve and a variable chord passing through this point, inside point, makes minimum area with this 2-degree curve, then this chord, for this chord, P must be the midpoint. Okay? So a point, you can write this equation again, that is y minus 3 is equal to m into x minus 4. So this fixed point is nothing but 4, 3, which lies inside this parabola. You can again check here. So if you want that this line makes minimum area with this parabola, then this line will be such that 4, 3 is the midpoint for this chord. So we have to just write the equation of a chord whose midpoint is given. So using t is equal to s1, we can write the equation. So forming t using transformations. So this is y into 3 minus 4 y plus 3 divided by 2 minus 4 x plus 4 divided by 2 plus 8 must be equal to, now putting this 4, 3 here, so 9 minus 12 minus 16 plus 8. 8 is cancelled out. You can see that this is 3y minus 2y. So y minus 6 minus 2x and minus 8 is equal to nothing but minus 19. So we see y is equal to 2x minus 5. So this is the equation of this chord. Okay, the slope that will be 2. So m is 2. So mod of m is again 2. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Thank you.